We are live at Trailblazer Stadium in St. George, Utah, located on the beautiful campus of Dixie State University. It is time for Trailblazer football. The triple cast tonight on the Trailblazer Football Network, CEC TV, that's TDS Cable Channel 22 locally. It is the Dixie State Stretch Internet portal on the internet portal.stretchinternet.com/Dixie State. And we will be on radio here in just a few minutes on Radio Dixie 91.3 FM. Dixie State, New Mexico Highlands coming at you in early season RMAC battle. Before the season, if I would have told you that this was a marquee game, I might have got a few chuckles, maybe even a few laughs. But New Mexico Highlands, a resurgent team this season, leading the nation in scoring in Division II, a team ready to turn some heads, have already turned some heads, and ready to make some noise in the RMAC this season. Dixie State, a team trying to turn that corner as well, trying to create some new highs, trying to set some records, and trying to get over the 6-win hump for the first time in program history this season in the RMAC. It is Dixie State hosting New Mexico Highlands on Week 3. Carrick Segmiller with you on the Trailblazer Football Network. Joining me in the booth for the first time this season, you'll hear him for the rest of the home slate, as well is football extraordinaire, Drayson Ball. Drayson, thanks for joining us. You may have heard Drayson's name before on our Trailblazer Weekly show. He's a co-host there. Excited that we can carry that over to the football booth as well. Excited to have you on board this season, Drayson. Welcome.
Thanks so much, Carrick. Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, it's been great getting the Trailblazer Weekly show going so far. We've had a lot of great feedback on that, and then just good to get the football season underway as well and being able to call some of these games. Great to be here, Carrick, and I'm looking forward to a great game tonight.
Again, Dixie State, New Mexico Highlands. We are inside the pregame show. We're going to set it all up for you. We'll set the table. We'll get you set for tonight's game. We'll give you some key players. We'll give you some keys to the game. We're going to look at the series between Dixie State and New Mexico Highlands. We'll make sure that you know your foe if you're a Dixie State fan or if you're a New Mexico Highlands fan. We want you to know what you should expect in the game tonight. So let's jump right into it. Let's look at the matchup. Dixie State, as you can see on your screen, 1-1 overall, 1-1 in the RMAC, and New Mexico Highlands 2-0. 2-0 in the RMAC. Let's take a look at how they got here. Both teams coming into this matchup. New Mexico Highlands, they started on the road at Durango, Colorado, went to Fort Lewis. The Dixie State and New Mexico Highlands have one common opponent so far this season, and both teams won those games going away. 45-31 for New Mexico Highlands, Drayson, Week 1 at Fort Lewis. You thought to yourself, okay, let's see what their offense does the week after to see how for real they really are. And they answered the question pretty quickly, putting 65 points up last week at home in Sanchez Stadium in Las Vegas, New Mexico. 65-37 win last week over Adams State for the Cowboys of New Mexico Highlands. And Drayson, this is a New Mexico Highlands squad that comes in here leading the nation in scoring offense. They are top 5 in total offensive yards. This offense is explosive, and if you're not on your A game, they will make you pay.
Yeah, Dixie State will have to bring its A-plus defense tonight to be able to slow down this Cowboy offense. As you mentioned, first in the nation in Division II with 55 points per game. Carrick also averaging 519 offensive yards. A prominent offense for the Cowboys. Like I mentioned, Dixie State's defense has really been one of the keys so far in the season, limiting last week Fort Lewis. We'll get to that matchup in just a second. Limiting last week's matchup against Fort Lewis to just 3 points. They'll have to be that good again this week if they're going to have a chance to slow down the Cowboy offense.
Cowboys running a balanced attack so far this season, averaging 265 yards per game through the air and 258.5 yards per game on the ground. So almost an even split for New Mexico Highlands, led by senior quarterback Danny Cameron. He's the Division I bounce back, was at Indiana for a couple of seasons, was with New Mexico Highlands last year and is with them this year. So far this season, Cameron has completed 37 of 56 passes for 521 yards and 8 touchdowns. Cameron's favorite targets so far include these 3. You're going to hear their names a lot. Zach Drew Tolles, 7 catches, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. DJ McFadden, 7 catches, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. How about Devin Henderson, 6 catches, 76 yards, and 2 touchdowns. However, and we'll talk about this in key players, so this is going to come up again here in just a little while on the pregame show. They do have a pretty good passing attack, but it all starts with senior running back Dion Alston leading the RMAC and ranks 4th in NCAA Division II with 140 rushing yards per game. He's gone for 280 yards, just 1 touchdown, but done all of that on just 29 carries so far this season, Drayson, and it's an offense that can beat you both ways. Like you said, the Dixie State defense has got to be on its toes tonight.
And Austin's just about as good as they come as far as the Division II level. He's playing great so far. As you mentioned, 140 yards per game. It's going to be a key for Dixie State, not only to keep him in check, we'll get to that a little bit later, but they've got to control a lot of the game as far as both pass and defense. They can't just key in on the running back, can't just key in on the wide receivers. Their secondary has to be good. Their defensive line has to be good tonight. It's going to take an all-out effort in order to stop this offense.
You want to talk about what Dixie State's got to do defensively. I really like what you said. I think if they can slow Alston down, then they'll be able to manage that pass attack as well. So it starts up front, and we'll talk about these things in the next segment with our keys to the game. Don't want to do too much of a spoiler alert here, but this Dixie State defense will have to key in on the run and force Mexico Highlands to pass at Dixie State, only allowing 86 yards per game through the air. So that's what you want to force New Mexico Highlands to have to go to, and just, if you can, take Alston out of the game. How about Dixie State? Check that. Before we do that, I want to talk just one quick thing about the New Mexico Highlands defense. We talk about the Cowboys on offense and how explosive they are. However, you look at them defensively, conceding 520 yards a game, 355 through the air, 165 on the ground. Sophomore linebacker Eli Schottmer leading the Cowboys defense with 15 tackles. Highlands secondary has recorded 6 interceptions, led by sophomore TJ Jackson with 3 takeaways. They're very good in the secondary. However, there are holes. There are things to be exploited with this Cowboys defense, Drayson, giving up more yards than they're gaining at 525 yards. Goodness gracious, can't talk. 520 yards per game conceded.
Yeah, 34 points per game through the first 2 weeks of the season. They can, as the expression goes, they are liable to get got on the defensive end, Carrick. Now, they do play good in a few different places on the defense. The secondary, like you mentioned, has been very good behind TJ Jackson with the 3 interceptions, 6 overall on the season. But Dixie State will have to be able to penetrate that defense tonight. It might just be a shoot 'em out kind of game, a high scoring in the 40s, maybe into the 50s kind of game if Dixie's going to want to win this, unless they can somehow slow down that offense, like you mentioned.
How about Dixie State? Trailblazers 1-1 overall, 1-1 in the RMAC. They go to Pueblo, Colorado, week 1. And it was a rude awakening to the season, 56-14. And a lot of people, even around town here in St. George, through the RMAC, people going, wow, maybe Dixie's going to have a down year this year. You got to take into consideration the fact that Dixie State's playing one of the top teams in the country, although Colorado Mines just beat Pueblo today, 35-21. So that's something to look forward to later in the season, but still one of the best teams in Division II. CSU Pueblo had everything clicking that night, and Dixie State really did kind of beat itself in a few aspects, gave up way too many big plays, and they fixed things going into the next week with a 31-3 win over Fort Lewis last week, something that is much more indicative of what this team will look like this season than that week 1 loss at Pueblo. If you ask me, you'd rather have that week 1 loss to Pueblo like that on the road. Coaches won't say this because they don't want to lose ever, but if you have to have a loss like that, you might as well go have some things exposed week 1 so then you can turn around and fix them the rest of the season. It
gives you a lot of good things to look at, Carrick, going back to a game like that, especially when you can compare your execution against the other team's execution. As you mentioned, CSU Pueblo, after the win, got up to 12th in the country. Now, they did just lose today, but going into that game, Dixie State did do a lot of things well. They had a very few amount of penalties, and last week that was one of their biggest issues was the penalties. Had 12 for over 200 yards, and I think we're going to get more of the team that we got last week against Fort Lewis, Carrick, than we will against CSU Pueblo as far as the overall team game. I think they're going to be able to keep the scoring low, and their defense is going to be able to really grind down. I expect it to be more like last week rather than week 1 against Pueblo.
Dixie State averaging 364 yards of total offense, 143 through the air, on the ground, and 221 through the air. The Trailblazers so far this season have split time at the quarterback position. Trent Darms and Easton Smith. Darms has started both games, 17 of 45 through the air, 1 touchdown with 3 interceptions. Easton Smith, however, 15 of 23, 247 yards through the air, and 1 touchdown in his 2 appearances. Some might say that Easton has looked a little bit better, but Trent has some things that he brings to the table as well. Can move well, run well, had a rushing touchdown last week. And so kind of a two-headed monster right now at quarterback. We'll see who gets the start today at running back. J.J. Longo played his first game last season, but how good has Lawrence Starks been so far this season? The freshman, 142 yards on 28 carries, also going for a touchdown. He looked great last week against Fort Lewis.
Yeah, he was one of the biggest reasons that Dixie State's offense looked so great last week, putting up 31 points against Fort Lewis. He was tremendous, just under 100 yards rushing last week and the touchdown, like you mentioned. But I really look at J.J. Luongo. He's due for a good game. Like you mentioned, he was out week 1. He played last week. Still had a good game. But I do think he is one of the keys to this offense so far this season going into this game. But don't mention, just as well to mention, going back to the quarterback kind of battle, Easton Smith kind of can bring that senior leadership in that quarterback position. Trent Darms just a sophomore. And I think both of them can bring unique aspects to the game. But I do like the way that the aspect of having 2 quarterbacks that can bring 2 different things to the game, and they've both played pretty well so far this season.
Dixie State, New Mexico Highlands getting set to do battle here inside Trailblazer Stadium. Quickly before the break, Dixie State defense giving up, where did that number go? There it is, 368 yards per game, 282 on the ground, and just 86 through the air. Dixie State defender you're going to want to look for, Shiloh Pritchard. 13 tackles. He's got both Dixie State interceptions on the season. Abraham Reinhardt, 11 tackles for him. He will miss the first half tonight after the targeting penalty late in the fourth quarter against Fort Lewis last week. Alex Lilliard, the linebacker, has 10 tackles as well. Anthony Yarbrough, redshirt freshman on the defensive line, has been a breath of fresh air for this Dixie State defense. 3 sacks on the season. Of course, then you got your regulars. Remington Kelly, Wes Moyai has been really great on the offensive line, as well as Sebastian DiMartini. We got to take a break here inside the pregame show. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we give you the keys to the game, let you know who the key players are. We'll also take a look at the RMAC schedule, a look around the conference. 2-minute timeout, right back to Trailblazer Stadium on the Trailblazer Football Network.
There is a place where looking out means looking in, where an impression lasting only a few seconds will be imprinted on a life forever, where courage is forged and innocence rediscovered, where remembering is rewarding and forgetting unforgettable. There is a place where truth is felt and where seeing is believing. There is a place.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this. I need a one dance. And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Hey Dixie State fans, this is Carrick Sagmiller
and Drayson Ball.
We're here to tell you about Trailblazer Weekly, our new show airing every Wednesday at 3 p.m. beginning on August 29th on CEC TV, the Dixie State Athletics YouTube page, and on Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
On Trailblazer Weekly, we'll bring you in-depth interviews with Dixie State coaches, administrators, and student athletes. We'll also keep you up to date with all the latest Trailblazer athletics news and game analysis.
Don't miss a second of the action. If it's anything Dixie State Athletics, it's on Trailblazer Weekly every Wednesday at 3 p.m. beginning on August 29th on CEC TV, the Dixie State Athletics YouTube page, and on Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
C.J. Jackson. At defensive back, number 31, Caleb Glennon. At defensive back, number 22, C.J. Waite. Defensive back, number 20, Willie Morris. At left corner, number 37, Cameron Orziati. The punters, number 14, Dylan Gassaway. The head coach of the Cowboys is Marty Fine. The starting lineup for your Dixie State Trailblazers: at quarterback, number 11, Trent Darms. At running back, number 25, CJ Luongo. At wide receiver, number 7, Dewan Dantzler. At wide receiver, number 12, Devin Osborne. At wide receiver, number 18, Brad Duran. At tight end, number 84, Cody Hobbs. At left tackle, number 58, Brandon Turner. At left guard, number 71, Tevia Tolatow. At center, number 59, Dane Hall. At right guard, number 73, Nathan Aceves. At right tackle, number 53, Adib Jowney. The place kickers, number 87, AJ Jurgensen. Defensively, for the Trailblazers, at left defensive end, number 92, Remington Kelly. At defensive tackle, number 90, Charlie Coca. At defensive tackle, number 99, Sebastian DiMartini. At right defensive end, Wes Moyai. At linebacker, number 2, Shiloh Pritchard. At linebacker, number 44, Jordan Nichols. At linebacker, number 5, Alex Williard. At left corner, number 8, Darren Jones. At safety, number 13.
Welcome back inside Trailblazers Stadium. Kind of an extended break on our end. Carrick Segmuller, Drayson Ball with you in the broadcast booth here at Trailblazers Stadium. We're just smoothing things over and confirming things with the third member of our crew tonight. You're going to hear from him tonight, McKinney Manu, a Radio Dixie 91.3 student here at Dixie State University. Will be our sideline reporter and kind of the third member of our crew tonight. You'll hear from him throughout the night tonight. And just one more shout out before we go into this next segment to all of our production staff on the CEC TV side and all of the students as well. You should know, if you're tuning in and watching this game, that the production that you're seeing tonight, pretty much all student run. Students in the truck, students on camera. Both Drayson and I, we're no longer students, but we are both alumni of Dixie State University of the Media Relations, of the Media Studies program. 2012 graduate I was. Drayson just graduated a few months ago in May. You see one of our great student workers on camera there. And Marcus, Lauren, James, and everybody, Dave Harris, did a great job leading this student-run crew. And you're not going to see much better production in all of Division II. We were very lucky. Just want to give a shout-out to them for all the work that they do at CEC Television. You can check them out at cectvutah.com. See what they're all about. And DSU Media Studies on Facebook. A lot of times we'll have kind of behind-the-scenes look at what's going on inside our segments as well. So just want to let everybody know that's watching that this is student-run production. They do an amazing job, and we're excited to show you the talent that our students have here at Dixie State University, both on the field and off the field as well. Carrick Segmuller, Drayson Ball with you inside the pregame show. We've got just a couple of minutes before our next break, and we want to keep things going here as we set the game up for you even further. How about some keys to the game? You can follow along on your screen. I've come up with 3 keys. Those are the ones that you'll see on your screen here in just a moment. Drayson, you can add anything that you want to add as well. There you see them on the screen, and we talked about this in the first segment. This is for Dixie State to get a win tonight. It all starts with these first two kind of go together. You got to slow down Dion Alston, the leading rusher in the RMAC. 140 yards per game. He's quick. He's athletic. If you don't slow him down, you're going to have troubles all night long.
Not only that, Carrick, he's a 5'8", just a 157 pounds, coming behind the line, a short guy, kind of like a Darren Sproles type of guy that he might remind you of. Really quick, like you mentioned, and hard to see behind that line, but he's got a lot of speed. If he gets out on the outside, he could pose some problems in that regard. It's going to be a tough night all night for Dixie State's defense to try to slow him down.
Second key to the game kind of goes along with that. You got to win the battle on the line. Defensively, obviously, if you're going to slow down Alston, you have to win the battle on the defensive line. It's up to the guys up front, Remington Kelly, Charlie Coca, Sebastian DiMartini, Wes Moyati, those guys up there, and then Anthony Yarbrough, the redshirt freshman as well. He leads the team in sacks with 3.5 at this point. So those are names you're going to hear, but it all starts up front, but also on the offensive side, Drayson, you can flip that around. The offensive lineman has got to create holes for C.J. Luongo tonight. He, for me, is one of the key players to tonight's game. Got to get C.J. going. He's due for a big game, like we've mentioned already. So it all starts up front. Got to win the battle on the defensive line and the offensive line.
And that's a good rule of thumb for just about any football game, Carrick, because you have to win the battle in the trenches. First of all, defensively for the Trailblazers, you mentioned it, those guys, Anthony Yarbrough, Wes Moyati, Sebastian DiMartini, Remington Kelly, those guys do need to control the defensive line. It's going to be really key for them. One thing for the Cowboys is they do run a lot of under center from the quarterback position. You don't see that a whole lot nowadays in football, college, or otherwise, but they're going to run a lot of under center, a lot of I formation, a lot of inverted wishbone, stuff like that. A lot of power dives up the middle, power blasts up the middle, things like that. That's going to be really key for Dixie State's defense tonight. As far as the offensive line goes, Carrick, that's going to be one of the major things that we're going to keep an eye on throughout the game, is how Dixie State's offensive line is going to be able to create holes for both Luongo and Lawrence Starks, as well as maybe some quarterback keepers here and there with Trent Darms and Easton Smith. And that's really where Dixie State's got to win the battle tonight if they're going to have a chance tonight.
Absolutely. Third key was create big plays. It's the same key that week in and week out, like kind of like the winning the battle up front, but you got to create big plays in order to win a football game. Last week, Dixie State was able to create some turnovers. They had a big 51-yard touchdown on a reverse. They had a 49-yard touchdown pass. Got to have stuff like that tonight. Maybe a little pick six or something like that to swing the momentum early in this game for Dixie State. Keys to the game in the books. We've kind of given you some key players already. Quarterback play is huge for Dixie State. C.J. Luongo, he's my kind of key player offensively for the Trailblazers. Defensively, Anthony Yarbrough has been getting in the backfields almost untouched. He's a key player, as well as Shiloh Pritchard at linebacker as well for Dixie State. And
also look for offensively for Dixie State. Look for Devin Osborne, a 6'7" wideout. He's going to tower over every other one of the secondary. Next closest in height as far as the Cowboy defense goes is Caleb Glennon. He's just 6'2". I look for Devin Osborne to have a key catch somewhere in this game just based on his height. It could be the difference tonight.
Fans and players alike rising for the national anthem inside the stadium. So let's step away. 2-minute timeout when we come back. Starting lineups from the kickoff. Dixie State, New Mexico Highlands. Back after this.
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West, set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
Hey, I ordered a large veggie with garlic herb crust.
Veggie? I thought you were more of a meat eater's man.
Oh, I am, but now I can do both. Look, flavor patch.
How does that work? What happens when that's gone?
I've got Howie bread strapped to my legs.
Flavor fanatics love us because we make our dough fresh daily and have meal deals for any budget.
Hungry?
Howie's! Flavor fanatics welcome.
From surgical suites to patient rooms to conference rooms. In scrubs, suits, or sneakers. With stethoscopes, computer code, or mops. We are all caregivers. Intermountain Healthcare. Healing for life.
There is a place where the sun doesn't hide in the winter, where the greens stay green and the crimson canyons still glow. There is a place where dimples determine destiny, and a tiny wooden T holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where we drive for show, putt for dough, and settle the score with another round. There is a place.
And welcome back inside Trailblazer Stadium. Look at your screen. We have got a flyover. It is Dixie State Military Appreciation Night tonight. Brought to you by the Western Warbird Museum here in the southern Utah area. Military Appreciation Night tonight. Current military and veterans receiving free admission to the game. We want to tip our hats as well, tip our caps to all of our current members of the military, to our veterans. Obviously, with September 11th earlier this week, it kind of gets you thinking about things like that, and we are so extremely grateful for all of the service that our military provides for us. You see it there on the screen. Big thank you to our military and to our veterans. We would not be able to be here playing this football game without you, so thank you very much to our military. The coin toss taking place right now. As we listen in. Looks like the referee is done. Referee is done making that call on the field. Last week they brought the audio through the entire coin flip. We'll let you know the result of that. Dixie State will be going north to south as we see it on your screen, as you see it as well. We are live on the radio now as well. So the triple cast underway. Let's give you some starting lineups. Sorry, we tried to go down for the sideline report on the sideline as well, but we had some technical difficulties down there with the audio. We'll try again perhaps as things get set and as we get ready to go in this game. Dixie State will be receiving to start this game. So let's get this thing going. Dixie State, New Mexico Highlands, coming at you right here on the Trailblazer Football Network. Again, the third member of our crew, Makini Manu, is down on the field. We will bring him in throughout the night. Tonight, Dixie State, New Mexico Highlands. The Cowboys won the toss, have deferred to the second half. End over end kick into the end zone. Aaron Simpson will take it and kneel on it. Dixie State will start at its own 25-yard line. Let's give you some starting lineups. First for Dixie State offensively, the Trailblazers will start this game with possession of the football. Up front, Brandon Turner, Teviatolu Ta'u, Dane Hall, Nathan Aceves, and Adib Jowney getting the start on the line tonight. One difference from the two deep that was provided earlier in the week. Easton Smith is going to get the start at quarterback, the sophomore getting the start tonight. At receiver, Devin Osborne, Dewan Dantzler. Your running back is CJ Luongo. Let's play football. We'll give you the Mexico Highlands starters after this play on first down. To the sideline, tip nearly picked off, an incomplete pass intended for Brad Duran.
Yeah, just a simple out route to the flat there. Brad Duran able to get his hands on it, but a good play by the defender there, TJ Jackson, to knock that one down.
Dixie State will reset and do it again all over again. 14:55 to play, second down and 10. I think Easton kind of wanted to just get rid of that ball. A little too high for Duran. Second down, they go to CJ, and he is swallowed up in the backfield. He'll lose 4 yards. Third down and 14 upcoming.
Yeah, it looked like it was Nick Locken who made the first initial contact about 2 or 3 yards deep in the backfield and able to get some help from his teammates to wrap him up and bring him down.
Clock rolling, 14:35 to go. We are underway here inside Trailblazer Stadium. Up front, starters for Mexico Highlands. Trey Haynes, Nick Locken, Xavier Patterson up front. We'll give you some more here in just a minute. Crucial third down here, 3rd down and 14. 13 seconds on the play clock. They look over to the sideline. We got a few more minutes. At linebacker, Devon Muldrow, Cameron Forziati, Craig McCray, Eli Schottmer. Your corners, TJ Jackson, Willie Morris, safety CJ Waite, and Caleb Glennon. CJ has got it at the 25, breaking tackles, not going to quite get to the 30. He'll pick up about 6 yards on the play, past the original line of scrimmage, but it will not be enough. Dixie State will go 3 and out, and will have to punt on its first drive.
CJ able to get the edge on the defensive line, able to get out in some space, but 2 Cowboy defenders was able to wrap him up, bring it down short of the 30.
Back deep to receive the punt for New Mexico Highlands, Diego Elibario, sophomore out of Farmington, New Mexico. Josh Carlson to punt from his own 20. Gets a foot into this one. It's a high punt. Wind holds it up a little bit. It'll take a Dixie State bounce and is scooped up by Elibario at the 25-yard line. Flag on the play back in the area of Carlson.
Yeah, it looked like it was Dondi Fuller, the defenseman from
running into the kicker. 5-yard penalty. Kicking team. Correction. Defense. Penalties decline. First down.
As I was saying, it's Dondi Fuller who ran into the kicker there for the 5-yard running into the kicker penalty. Difference between roughing the kicker, running into the kicker, just a 5-yard penalty, which would have had to reset 4th down, kick again, which Dixie State declined to do, and they'll take over from right around the 25-yard line.
A referee today is Cecil Harrison. He makes the call there. You see it on your screen. Great look. Carlson spinning to the ground, trying to get the call. He does get the running into the kicker call. But Dixie State will decline the penalty after the great bounce and the good punt into the wind from Carlson. New Mexico Highlands offensively, Danny Cameron up under center. He'll have Deion Alston in the pistol formation. He'll hand off to Alston. A big hole across the right side, 40, 45, 50, across the 50 into Dixie State territory on the first play of the game of their offensive stanza, and he's across the 50. New Mexico Highlands player down on the far side on the play. That is Zach Drew Tolles, senior receiver out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Never want to see anybody hurt. I don't care what jersey you're wearing. Hopefully he's okay. But wow, what a run by Deion Alston. We talked about him in the pregame, and he's making people miss already.
Yeah, not wasting any time for Alston. Was able to get around the outside, get into the edge, and has a lot of room to run. Like we mentioned, very shifty offensively running that ball. Able to get over the 50-yard line and into Trailblazer territory.
Still attending to Zach Drew Tolles, so let's take an injury timeout. 13-14 to play in the first half. 30-second timeout right back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
I'm Jimmy. This is my definition of fresh since 1983.
Welcome back inside Trailblazer Stadium. Drew Tolles helped off the field. Hopefully he is okay. And an I formation set under center is Danny Cameron. First down and 10 from the Trailblazer 47. Handoff into the backfield. Goes to Desmond Scott, and he's brought down for no gain. Great penetration. Dixie State brings him down.
And that's Anthony Yarbrough. We talked about him in the pregame, getting some penetration off the left side of the defensive line there, able to bring down Austin for a loss of about no gain.
They'll mark him right back at the line of scrimmage. He was hit for about a 2-yard loss, able to kind of fight through it and get back to the line of scrimmage. Second down and 10, 12:34 to go here in the first quarter. Dixie State, New Mexico Highlands locked in a scoreless battle. Each team with its first possession of the game. On second down, play action for Cameron. Looking downfield, man across the middle, incomplete. Kind of a crossing route. 2 receivers in the area. You had Dylan Gassaway and DJ McFadden. He threw it right in between them. Great defense.
Looked like he might have been going to DJ McFadden there, overthrew him just a little bit, running a cross route towards their sideline, and just overthrew him just a little bit.
Well, 3rd down and 10, 12-17 to go in the first. The first 3rd down of the game for New Mexico Highlands so far this season, converting on 8 of 23 3rd down conversions. That is a 35% clip. Shotgun formation. Cameron rolls out to his left, has time, fires to the sideline, overthrown, nearly intercepted by Trayvon Watson, coming over from the safety position. Couldn't get to it before it got to the sideline, and it will be 4th down for New Mexico Highlands at the 47 of Dixie State. I think you got to send in the punting unit.
Danny Cameron feeling some pressure there in the backfield as a result of Shiloh Pritchard on the blitz coming through, maybe force that ball out a second or two before Cameron would have liked to. Forces a 4th down and a punt.
Back deep to receive for the Trailblazers is Aaron Simpson, standing at his own 10. Here comes the punt for New Mexico Highland. Gets it away, end over end kick. Simpson going to let it bounce at the 10 and into the end zone for the touchback. And Dixie State will have its 2nd drive of the game. While we've got a chance, we want to thank some of our great Dixie State athletic sponsors: Catering Concepts, Lonnie Boy's Barbecue, Chick-fil-A, and Jimmy John's. And don't forget Mountain America Credit Union. In fact, Mountain America Credit Union has a booth set up here tonight, giving out some stuff. And actually, you can get a Trailblazers branded debit card with any checking account at Mountain America Credit Union. So there's something to go check out when you get the chance. Drayson, what do you want to see different on this 2nd drive of the game for the Trailblazers?
Well, they tried to run a couple of times last time to Luongo. I think we got to get that running game going if we want to have a chance on this drive.
On 1st down, Sajay around the left end, just what the doctor ordered. 35, held up just shy of the 40, and it will be to the 38-yard line, a pickup of 18 yards for Sajay Luongo on 1st down.
Yeah, all the action was going to the right side here, but they give it to Luongo. He goes back to the left, able to get on the outside, and is tackled by a gang tackle. 4 Cowboys there, bringing him down short of the 40, but a pickup of 18 yards to get this drive going.
Should note that last week Dixie State had to punt on its 1st drive, scored on its 2nd drive. What do they do here today? They go to Sajay again, hole up the middle, 40, 45, and is brought down across the 45, tripped up at the 47-yard line, a pickup of 9 yards on 1st down and 10 for Sajay.
Great run for Luongo here, going up the middle on in the B gap, able to get a couple of yards.
Up tempo for Dixie State. Back to Sajay, sheds a tackler, and he's stopped. And it looks like the marker is right at the 48. That is the line to gain. They'll give him the 1st down.
Yeah, good play here. Just an ISO dive up the middle. Luongo able to get just enough for the 1st down. It looks like now. It looks like they might measure. They are going to bring in the sticks and measure this, but he looks like he may be right on that line. Yard to gain is the 48. The ball is right near that hash mark.
With your white hat today, your referee Cecil Harrison, he was in the backfield, and when they originally spotted the ball, he said 1st down from way back, and now I think they are going to call for a measurement.
And just from we got a good angle, Carrick. We're right here, right above the 50-yard line. We got a great angle on it.
Yeah,
from where it's spotted now is where's the sticks are.
Yeah, you're about half a yard shy.
About a half a yard shy, as far as we can tell.
Again, big shout out to our CEC TV crew. Man, what a great shot.
That's a tremendous shot.
Oh, one of the back judges in the way there. It's going to be short. They'll stretch it out. It'll be about a half yard shy from where they initially put it down. They did move that back. Well, they're still fidgeting with the chain. I mean, you can clearly see that it's
just making sure. I think they want to make sure they want to get it where they're going to put it back on the sideline.
Yep.
They're measuring that chain, the exact link, which is where they want to put it.
Absolutely.
So they know they get it right for the next one. But if I'm the Trailblazers right now, I go back to Luongo. He's picked up a big chunk of yardage on this drive alone. I'm looking for Luongo to try to get this one, maybe even a quarterback keeper, to try to get another half yard.
Yeah, they've maybe set up a good opportunity for Easton Smith to go read option here. Put the ball into the gut of Luongo and then pull it right back out. You just need the one. It'll be shotgun formation. Sajay at the right hip of Smith. Now he goes under center. He's just going to go QB keeper right up the middle. He'll get the 1st down.
Yeah, good play there. Just a no-brainer. Easton Smith kind of just calls an audible there at the last second. Goes quarterback keeper. Easy yardage for the 1st down. Pick up about a yard and a half.
And I said that was Sajay Luongo. I did this a bunch of times last week too. That's Lawrence Starks. So after Sajay does a little bit of work, Lawrence Starks is going to get his first action of the game. Trailblazers 1st and 10 at its own 49. Smith, two-step drop, looking, has time, goes for it all. Home run ball, Durant is there, and he can't make the catch, but a flag flies, and it's absolutely the right call. Brad had a beat on the ball. The defender hit him before the ball got there. It'll be pass interference, 15-yard penalty.
Trailblazers running a trips formation, 3 receivers to the right side of the ball as we get the penalty here.
Pass interference. Defense, number 13, 15-yard first down.
And that's Malik Brown.
As you see here, the trips formation. Easton Smith got plenty of time in the pocket there, steps up and throws it. Durant comes back towards the ball, but the defender unable to get his head turned around quickly enough, and as Durant's coming back, the defender bumps into him.
Yeah, that's that play. If you can get your head turned and show that you're making a play on the ball, they don't throw that flag. But he runs right into Brad Durant before the ball flies in. First down, they go to Lawrence Starks. Starts heading for the sideline, cuts it back up about the numbers across the 35 down to the 30, we'll call it the 34-yard line. And it'll be a pickup of 2 yards, 2nd down and 8 for the Trailblazers.
Seen this play called a couple times on this drive. Carrick trying to just get outside on that left edge. Lawrence Starks able to get a few yards on that pickup.
Clock rolling, 10:20 to go here in the first. They send Starks in motion. Hand off to Sejay. Sejay moving off the right end, so you're seeing a set with both Luongo and Starks in at the same time. You try to go a little misdirection out to the right side. It works for about 3 yards. 2nd down, call it another 2 yards. 3rd down and 6 coming.
Yeah, the draw play able to get a couple of yards here as they send Starks out in motion to the right side and into the flat, and then give it to Luongo for the 2-yard pickup.
They'll pull Starks out of the game and leave Luongo here for the 3rd down play. Brad Durant jogs in to have an extra receivers. And they're going to go trips to the far side. They'll load that far side up with DeJuan Dantzler, Giovanni Sanders, and Brad Durant. Empty on the near sideline. Shotgun formation, Luongo at the right hip of Smith. Takes the snap, fires, and it is incomplete. Pass was intended on that far side for Giovanni Sanders. It was there, but the pass was broken up, and it'll be 4th down.
Yeah, C.J. Wade on the breakup here. A good route ran, just kind of a little 5-yard curl route, comebacker a little bit. C.J. Wade able to get his hand in there and break it up for 4th down.
Of course, with this win you've got and some of the miscues you've had on special teams, this is an opportunity to Dixie State. They're in that no man's land. They're going to go for it on 4th down. 2 for 4 so far on the season. Needs 6 yards. Line to gain will be the 26. They'll lob to Durant. He makes the catch inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line. What a catch by Brad Durant, Mr. Reliable.
Tremendous catch and a tremendous throw by Easton Smith, getting some time in the pocket, throws one up to the outside shoulder of Brad Durant. He's able to turn over his left shoulder and make the catch as he's falling to the ground. Sets up Dixie State with 1st and goal inside the 10.
One-on-one coverage on the sideline, and Durant able to go down and make the catch with Malik Brown right there. I call him Mr. Reliable. Anything you throw to him, he's going to catch if it's possible to catch it. What a catch. 1st down and 10 for Dixie State, down to the 6-yard line. They'll mark it officially. Whistles with the play clock at 1, and Dixie State will have to burn a timeout with 8:57 remaining. What a play, what a catch. 8:57 to go here in the first half. Let's take a 30-second timeout. Come right back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
At Kneaders, we start simple, making bread from scratch with just a handful of ingredients. It's not the easy way, but it's worth it. Honest bread made without shortcuts. When you come to Kneaders, every loaf of bread, every sandwich starts here. Yes, it takes more time, but that's why we get an early start. Stop by today for dine-in, takeout, or drive-through.
Welcome back inside Trailblazer Stadium. 1st down and goal from the 6-yard line. Drayson, put your coaching hat on here. What do you call on this first down play?
Well, like I mentioned earlier in the pregame, you have Devin Osborne, a 6'7" sophomore out of Los Angeles, California. Might not be a bad idea to try to throw one up to him, lob it. He's not on the field right now, but I do imagine they will try to go to Luongo here, maybe a dive off to the right side of the line.
They'll go to Luongo. Call you Tony Romo up here, calling the plays. He'll dive forward. Let's see, maybe give him 2 yards across the 5 down to the 4. I'd like to see him put Brad Duran back in, and here he goes, jogging back in. Maybe a little play action, dump it to Duran in the end zone. He does so much work. Doesn't score often, but he does so much work. One of the hardest workers at practice every week. Talked about him a little bit last week. Would love to see him get a score here. Of course, it doesn't matter who scores. Just want to see the Trailblazers get into the end zone. 8:20 to go. Kind of a bunch formation, 3 receivers bunched up on the right side. Luongo moves from the right hip to the left hip. Now he's in motion. Smith flushed out of the pocket to the right, looking, cuts it back inside, has room to run across the 5, dumps into the end zone, incomplete. Had a receiver in the back of the end zone. And that's the tight end, number 85, Hunter Christensen. Couldn't quite get it to him as he's fallen to the ground. Has to get rid of it. One hops it a little bit to Christensen in the back of the end zone.
Thought Smith might try to run this in here. He makes the defender miss. That's number 50, Thomas Langtree. Then he throws to the receiver at the back of the end zone. Can't quite get it up to him, and there we forced a 3rd down.
3rd down and goal from the 4. Converted on 4th down on this drive, and Dixie State punch it in. Shotgun snap to Smith, looking, receiver there, pass is caught, and it's Brad Duran. Touchdown, Trailblazers. Mr. Reliable makes the catch on 4th down. He's rewarded with his first touchdown catch of the season. Dixie State leading 6-0, 8:02 to go.
Just what we talked about, 2 receivers to the left side of the line here. They run a kind of a clear out route with the wide out. Duran is there in the slot, runs like a 5-yard little turnaround, just kind of find a zone, find a bubble, a pocket there, and he was able to turn around, make the catch for the touchdown.
Of course, Duran will stay on to hold for A.J. Jurgensen on the PAT. The kick is up, and it is good. 8:02 to play here inside Trailblazer Stadium. Dixie State leading at 7-0. We're going to keep it right here. We're going to go down to the 3rd member of our crew, Makini Manu, here in just a minute when we can get the camera over to him for a sideline report. So here we go. Toss it down to Makini Manu.
Touchdown. The offensive line was doing a great job by giving it a lot of protection for the quarterback to have enough time to see that wide open pass. Great job by Dixie State.
Thanks, Bikini. Appreciate it. Dixie State, 7-0 lead. 8:02 to go in the first. Excited to have that 3rd member of our crew with us. And excited the sideline wireless mic worked. You got to worry about all the technical things. Drayson, dissect that drive for me. What'd you like out of that drive?
Well, it was a little bit of both, Carrick. A little bit of running, a little bit of passing. They got the drive started early on the ground with A.J. Luongo, Lawrence Starks in there as well, picking up some big chunks of yards on the ground. Then obviously the 4th down conversion was the key play of the drive to Brad Duran down inside the Cowboys' 10-yard line. Then, of course, the Brad Duran touchdown to seal the drive, a 75-yard drive, both on the air and on the ground. Good drive for Dixie State.
This win will be a factor on kickoffs today. Ball fielded across the 10 and the 20. And this one could go. Stiff arm the kicker. 40, 30, and trip from behind across the 20 down to the 15, near the 15-yard line. And New Mexico Highlands flipping the script quickly.
It was Elijah Isaiah tracking him down from behind, able to bring him down just short, or just like right at the 15-yard line to prevent the return touchdown.
And just like that, after an 11-play, 80-yard drive for Dixie State, momentum swings quickly. I meant the kickoffs going from north to south are going to be a little bit sketchy tonight because of that tough wind out of the south. It held the ball up. Everybody was overloaded on the one side, and the returner was able to get it up that left side. Handoff on 1st down to Alston, and he's swallowed up immediately. And that's Alex Lilliard coming up from his spot at linebacker. He'll lose a yard. 2nd down and 11.
Yeah, Alex Lilliard comes off the left side unblocked, is able to wrap up Alston in the backfield, force a loss of 1 yard.
They're going to say loss of 2 officially. They'll spot it back at the 17. 7:25 to play here in the first. This Dixie State defense, if you can try to force a field goal attempt, you've done your job on this drive after the electric return. Under center is Cameron. Takes the snap, rolls out to his right, looking. Man is there. Pass is batted away in the end zone. There was some kind of pushy shovey on both sides there. No flags. Pass incomplete. 3rd down and 11.
Darren Jones comes up big with the defensive stop right here. Gets into the end zone. Look, he gets his eyes turned right around. Gets his head turned back around. Does have that left arm there, but does get the right arm out there to block the pass.
Pass intended for DJ McFadden in that right side of the end zone. I saw the jersey get tugged a little bit. That white jersey came out just a little. I was worried that might induce the referee to throwing the flag. He kept it in his pocket. Here we go. Crucial 3rd down play. 3rd down and 12 from the Trailblazers 17. I formation. Cameron under center. Will hand off up the middle. And he's brought down shy of the marker. Needed to get down to the 6-yard line. Only got to the 11. Field goal situation for New Mexico Highlands.
Give it to the fullback. Elijah Boyd is able to run off to the right side. Gets about to the 12-yard line before being brought down by the Dixie State secondary, forcing a 4th down.
The Dixie State defense doing its job, although this short of a field goal. Ball will be kicked from the 18-yard line. 28-yard field goal, right hash for Israel Farfan, the reigning RMAC Special Teams Player of the Week. Has not missed a field goal this season. Snap, hold, kick, good. Money. He could make that kick in his sleep. One of the best kickers in the country. But the big thing here, after the big return, the Dixie State defense stiffens and holds New Mexico Highlands to just a field goal. 7-3 on your scoreboard. 6:18 to play. 60-second timeout and back on the Trailblazer Football Network. New Mexico Highlands kickoff through and into the end zone. Touchback. Coming out of the timeout, Dixie State will start at its own 25-yard line. Carrick Segmiller, Drayson Ball with you in the Trailblazer broadcast booth. Want to thank some more of our great Dixie State athletic sponsors: Camping World, Dad's Trucking, Intermountain Healthcare, Campus Dining, and InfoWest. Our top dog sponsors here in Dixie State Athletics. Appreciate all they do for the Trailblazers, making it possible for these student athletes to do what they do. 6:18 to go here in the first quarter. 7-3 your score. Sajay on 1st down. Spun around and he loses 2 yards. 2nd down and 12 for the Trailblazers.
Yeah, that's Craig McCray getting some penetration from the linebacking position, able to get through the line and bring down Luongo for a 2-yard loss.
2nd down and 12, 5:55 to go here in the first quarter. Dixie State holding on to a 7-3 lead. One thing we didn't get to in the pregame is the series history between these two teams. We'll get to that here in just a moment. Shotgun snap to Smith. Gives to Sajay at the left hip, and he'll dive forward for a yard. 3rd down and 11. You hear the Dixie State faithful below us clamoring, come on, we got to go. It'll be 3rd down and 11 for the Trailblazers. In danger of going 3 and out.
Kind of just a run-pass option there. Decides to give it to Luongo. Able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe give him a yard. 3rd down and long.
Here we go. Dixie State, remember, still playing into that wind. So you saw Easton Smith on the long pass to Brad Durant on the touchdown drive make that throw. Didn't affect that throw too much. Looks like it may have picked up a little bit, but obvious passing situation here on 3rd down and 11. Brad Durant in motion from right to left. Shotgun snap to Smith. 2-step drop, has time, holds, fires across the middle to Giovanni Sanders. Pass is complete, but only for 3 yards. And it will be 4th down and 8. Dixie State will be forced to punt. Liked what Easton Smith did. Wanted to go downfield. Checked all of his options. Finally just dumped it to Sanders. Played it safe. They'll punt it.
Yeah, good for the offensive line. They're giving Smith some time to survey his options. Everyone covered. Decides to go to Giovanni Sanders. Picks up 3 yards, but will force a punt.
It will be Carlson to punt from his own 15. A line drive punt, going to take a Dixie State bounce, fielded at the 30 and brought down across the 40 near the 41-yard line, where that play, as Diego Elibario, he was the returner that was shaken up earlier in the game. He's back out onto the field.
Yeah, a little low line drive punt there, trying to do his best to keep it out of the wind. Takes a good Dixie State bounce. Not much of a return there, and the Cowboys will take over from the 40-yard line.
4:11 to go here in the first quarter. Well, I tell you, you look at the drive chart, New Mexico Highlands has had pretty darn good field position to start. We'll give you that here in just a moment. Hand off to Alston. Starts right, slices and dices his way back up into the middle for a 3-yard pickup. 2nd down and 7. He's so quick, and he's got a quick juke. And he's able to slip through the smallest of gaps there, and he picks up 3 yards.
Yeah, you see it there. He's just able to plant his right foot, put it straight in the turf there, and cut off it very quickly. Alston picks up 3 yards on 1st down.
Mexico Highlands has started at its own 25, at the Dixie State 15, and now at its own 41-yard line at its 3 possessions so far today. Snap, quick end around, gets a block, 1st down yardage, still on his feet, cuts it back inside. And he's across the 50 down to the 33-yard line. A big pickup for the Cowboys, Devin Henderson.
Yeah, Devin Henderson just able to do here on the end around, just able to catch the outside. No one on contain for Dixie State. Is able to pick up a big chunk of yards for the Cowboys.
23-yard pickup for Henderson on the 1st down play. And that's one thing that New Mexico Highlands has done this season. Marty Fine, the head coach, has Matt Clark helping him out as the offensive coordinator. 1st down, they go back to Alston. Finish that thought in a minute. Big hole around the right end. One man to beat, and he's pushed out of bounds. 1st down run, and then some. It'll be inside the 20 down to the 14-yard line. A big run for Deion Alston.
This is what he does so well. He's able to survey the line very, very quickly. You see he wasn't going to go to the left. That gets blocked off. He's able to cut backfield to his right and able to pick up a lot of yardage.
I tell you, this offense is all kind of schemed around misdirection and trying to get the defense with momentum to the other side. As you see, almost everything they run, they show something going one way and then they cut it back the other way. Handoff up the middle. On a 1st down, powering his way down to the 5-yard line is Desmond Scott. And that will go for, I believe, they're going to call it 9-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 1 from the 5.
Yeah, this is just some smash mouth football going right up the middle, right behind the center there. Able to pick up a good chunk of yardage. Sets up 2nd and about a yard.
2nd down and 1, 2:15 to go here in the 1st. And the Dixie State defense tightened here. A hand to the fullback is hit, spinning off 2 tacklers, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Cowboys. Elijah Boyd powers his way for a 5-yard touchdown run, and New Mexico Highlands has taken the lead 9-7 with 2:06 to play.
Something we don't see a lot of days nowadays in football is the fullback getting a carry here late, deep into Trailblazer territory. He's a big guy able to rumble and stumble his way into the goal line to take 9-7 lead here in first quarter.
Farfan in for the PAT. 14 of 14 so far on the season is Farfan at point after tries. This one is up, and he gets it. Looked like he may have pulled it left a little bit, but sticks it through. 2:06 to play after both teams went 3 and out one time. It's all offense now. 10-7, Highlands with the lead. 60-second timeout and back. Trailblazer Football Network.
There is a place where rocks bleed and nature blushes on a battlefield green with envy, where dimples determine destiny and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where friends are opponents and opponents are friends, where the prize is elusive, the conquest is captivating, and the score isn't settled till the drinks are down. There is a place.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to our set here of Talking Point Live. We're just getting ready to shoot our show, but we thought we'd put out a little bit of a promotion so you know when this is going to be rebroadcast.
Right. You can find us at 9:30,
12:30,
4:30.
Sorry, did I step on you? I'm always stepping on you.
You are.
Tune in and watch me step on Jen Moore. On Talking
Or
Point Live.
attempt to, anyway.
Welcome back inside Trailblazer Stadium. 2:06 to play here in the first quarter for New Mexico Highlands. They go 5 plays, 59 yards, 2:05 off the clock, and take a 10-7 lead. Farfan, end-over-end kick is taken by Xavier Smith, 5 yards deep. He's going to bring it out, 15, 20, and tackled shy of the 25 of the 24-yard line, so just a 1-yard difference, but 5 yards deep. I thought for sure he'd kneel on it.
Yeah, he looked like he wanted to initially. Kind of hesitated coming out of the end zone, able to bring it to the 24, just a little short of where he would have been had he just taken the knee. But a good thing to just get back to the 24 after kind of hesitating out of the goal line.
Want to give a shout out to the Dixie State volleyball team, and we'll cover this a little bit more in depth maybe during the halftime report. Dixie State volleyball, 3-1 victory over Colorado Mesa in what is going to be an extraordinary rivalry between the Trailblazers and the Mavericks across all sports. Lost the first set, then won 3 straight to win it. Trailblazers now 9-2 overall, 4-0 in RMAC play, with a couple of other teams atop the RMAC standings. Here we go, back to football, 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Shotgun snap to Smith on first down. Pressure comes, steps out, completes a pass to DeJuan Dantzler. Sideline left side, and he gets across the 40 to the 41-yard line. We'll call that a pickup of 17 yards on the pitch and catch from Easton Smith to DeJuan Dantzler.
Great play here on both ends. Easton Smith able to dance around in the pocket, avoids some pressure, steps up, finds Dantzler running a 10-yard out. He's able to use some fancy footwork to gain a couple more yards.
Trailblazers go hurry up. Throw to Xavier Smith on the far sideline. He makes the catch. A flag thrown at the end of that, and he goes for near a first down. Xavier Smith banged into a defender on the sideline out of bounds after the play. I wonder if this could possibly go against Dixie State.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds.
No.
Number 22, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That'll go against C.J. Waite, the corner. We'll take a look at it at the end of the play here. Smith makes the catch. He gets near the first down. No, that's all defense. Smith felt the pressure coming, lowered the shoulder, and absorbed the hit out of bounds. That's two Smiths on the field right now. A pass completion from Easton Smith to Xavier Smith. 135 and rolling. Dixie State kind of that bunched up formation. Smith under center, end around, handoff to Xavier Smith from left to right, cutting it across the 35, diving near the 30, and he'll be stopped at the 31-yard line, a pickup of 6 yards for Xavier Smith. He's got breakaway speed, and that's what you're trying to see them get on display here.
Yeah, and this one looked like it might have been disastrous from the get-go. Penetration from number 90. That is Xavion Patterson, but Smith able to get around him and able to pick up a chunk of yards.
Here we go. 2nd down and 4, under a minute to go in the first. Hand off to Sajay, dancing his way across the 30 down to the 26-yard line. 51.2 seconds remaining. It'll be a first down pickup for the Trailblazers. A lot of things going on in that play before the handoff. Sajay is able to get it done.
Yeah, this is kind of what we expected coming into the game. A lot of gifts to Sajay. He's able to run it right up the middle enough to pick up the first down.
30 seconds remaining in the first. They go right back to Sajay. Same play, and he'll pick up close to 4 yards on the play. It was the same play as the previous, except you saw Isaiah Wooden motioning from right to left instead of left to right. It goes for another 4 yards. It'll be, they'll call it 3 officially, 2nd down and 7.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Anytime you can pick up 3 or 4 yards on a first down run, I think you'll take that every time.
Clock under 10 seconds to play. I think you're going to see Dixie State just jog to the sideline, and they will. 15 minutes of football in the books here at Trailblazer Stadium. It's New Mexico Highlands 10, Dixie State 7. We'll take a 60-second timeout. When we come back, we'll have some first quarter stats for you. And Dixie State will have 2nd and 7 from the New Mexico Highlands 23-yard line. 60-second timeout and back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
There is a place where young and old make connections, where kids feel like grown-ups, and grown-ups feel like kids. There is a place where beauty arises in contrast, where wonder is universal, and laughter second nature. There is a place where friends find a future, families find each other, and feelings find their home. There is a place.
Welcome back inside Trailblazer Stadium. 15 minutes up on the second quarter clock. We'll give you the first half stats in just a moment. Carrick Segmiller, Drayson Ball with you. 2nd down and 7. Sajay across the 20, diving for the 15, across the 15, down to the 14-yard line. Needed 6, got 7. And Dixie State moves the chains inside the red zone, and Fabulous Freddy's first down.
Seems like Coach McClure and offensive coordinator Blake Rowland have found a play they like. They've seen something in the Cowboys defense running this play on back-to-back-to-back occasions, able to pick up about 10 yards, 11 yards on this one for the first down at the 15.
First quarter stats, of course, we've had a play now, so they've changed a little bit. First quarter stats, Dixie State 110 yards, 90 yards for New Mexico Highlands, 7 first downs for the Trailblazers, 4 for the Cowboys. First down and 10 at the New Mexico Highlands 14-yard line. Snap to Sajay. End around run to the right side, cutting it back inside, still on his feet. 3 white jerseys tearing at his arms, trying to strip the ball loose, can't get him. He'll pick up 3 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 7 at the 11.
Good play from Luongo here. He's following his blockers. You'll see he's got 2 or 3 blockers out in front, just being patient behind your blockers. A lot of times you'll see running backs get impatient and try to cut it up the field or go onto the outside. Luongo doing a good job here, waiting for his blockers to get out in front, able to pick up 3 yards on the carry.
Had Tevye Toluta'u and Nathan Aceves leading the way out there. 2nd down and 11. 2nd down and 7, from the 11. Can't get my numbers straight tonight. They'll hand off to Sajay. No, play action, and it'll be pass interference. That play would have worked beautifully. DeJuan Dancer would have been wide open, but he was grabbed at the goal line, and it will be probably defensive holding against New Mexico Highlands. Play action worked. DeJuan Dancer was just held and spun around.
Yeah, you see the play call come in immediately. We'll see what it'll be from the referee, whether it'll be a holding or a pass interference. The difference between holding and pass interference, holding can only be called before the quarterback lets go.
True.
Versus pass interference is after the ball has been thrown.
Absolutely.
We'll see what he calls.
Yep.
Pass interference. Number 13, defense. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Good call by you, Drayson, on that one. Pass interference is the call. Of course, Malik Brown had no option, unless he wants to let the touchdown be scored, but to grab on to DeJuan Dancer. First down and goal from the 2 for Dixie State. Easton in the shotgun. We'll give to Sajay. Sajay, no, it's read option. And Smith is in for a 2-yard run. Just gets inside the pylon. Dixie State back up on top. 13-10, 13:28 to go, PAT pending.
Carrick, they've set up this play the entire drive. Easton Smith with the quarterback keeper. The same run they've run 3 or 4 times on this drive. They give the Cowboys that same action, that same look. Instead, this time Easton Smith keeps it, able to run into the right side inside the pylon for the touchdown.
Did not fool Thomas Langtree, the linebacker, but he's able to outrun him for the score. PAT attempt coming. The snap, the hold, the kick is blocked. And Dixie State picks it up and runs it in.
And I don't think the referees know what to call here.
Well, the defense can run it back the other way. I don't see why that shouldn't be 2 points. Tevye Tolutau picked it up and ran it in. That's a live ball.
Here's the distinction: if the PAT is blocked and goes backwards,
which it did,
we'll see. We'll get the call from the hot.
2 points.
Yes. Dixie State's going to get 2 points out of the blocked PAT.
So as I was saying, the differentiation is if the punt or the kick is blocked and it goes backwards, that means going away from the end zone. The ball is live. If it's kicked and goes forward, that means it is a dead ball. This play, as you see, does not cross the line of scrimmage. That's the distinction. That's why Dixie State was able to pick it up and run it in for the 2-point conversion. Unconventional, but 2 points nonetheless.
15-10, Dixie State leading it. 13:28 to go. Touchdown Trailblazers, unconventional 2-point try. Let's just take a 30-second, just a 30. Come right back at the Trailblazer Football Network.
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the Trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West, set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
Dixie State leading at 15-10, 13:28 to go. 8 plays, 76 yards, and here comes the kickoff from A.J. Jurgensen.
Back deep to receive is number 21, T.J. Jackson. It goes to him. He'll receive it right around the goal line. Comes back inside the goal line, is able to come off to the right side, gets it upside into the middle, and is brought down just short of the 30. Was able to get a few extra yards there, almost broke it off, but is able to be brought down at the 30-yard line. Just able to cut it back upside. Looked like he was going to start on the outside, coming towards the near side of the field. Cuts it back up the middle, but does run into trouble there and brought down at the 28-yard line. That's where the Cowboys will take over, trailing 15-10 after Dixie State goes 75 yards and scores a touchdown and an unconventional 2-point conversion.
Thank you, Drayson, for covering for me. Trying to take care of a couple of other things on that play. 13:21 to go in the first half. Dixie State a 15-10 lead. Cameron read option. He'll take it off the right side. Quarterback keeps it for the first time. He'll get a couple of yards. Second down and 8, and the flag flies late. We've seen flags fly late against this Dixie State defense in the past, and it looked like it may be coming back to bite him again.
Sent DJ Elabario in motion, faked the end around to him. Danny Cameron keeps it, brings it off for the right side.
After the play, personal foul, number 13, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And that's a killer right there. I talked about it last week, and I'll just mention this, and then maybe won't bring it up again the rest of the game. But this Dixie State defense has got to be more disciplined. Last week had 12 penalties for 200 yards and a bunch of personal fouls. They've got to figure something out on that side of the ball. No more personal fouls after the play, please. I'm off my soapbox.
Yeah, I mean, that's a killer penalty, 15 yards and near midfield.
And you're going to get a false start against Zach Drew Tolles. Good to see him back into the game, though, for Highlands, as he was shaken up early. But he moved before that play started.
Some
false start, number 7, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
So they give up 5 yards of the 15, right back to Dixie State. Trailblazers would like to have 2 more of those false start penalties to get right back where they were. But first down and 15, ball at the New Mexico Highlands 40-yard line, 12:43 to go. There's some words exchanged, I think, between Trayvon Watson and offensive lineman
Tarini Tosi
for New Mexico Highlands, and probably said one of those magic words that get you flagged. Under center is Danny Cameron. 12:25 to go until halftime. Play action. Cameron looking, loads up, fires deep downfield. Receiver there, overthrows him. Incomplete. Boy, wide open was Zach Drew Tolles, but Danny Cameron could not get it to him, and Drew Tolles comes up limping once again.
Yeah, you see just a simple crossing route. Drew Tolles comes underneath 2 wide receivers down the field, just overthrows him a little bit, can't quite get to him, and Drew Tolles comes back limping a little bit to the huddle. It still looks like he might be suffering a little bit from that opening play where he suffered an injury. We'll have to see how that plays out the rest of the game.
12:19 to go. Dixie State leading it 15-10. Cameron, delayed handoff, Alston, room to run, 45-50, breakaway speed, sheds a tackler, still on his feet down to the 20-yard line. We've talked about his explosiveness, a great delayed handoff, and he goes down to the Dixie State 20.
And a great play design here. You'll see it looks like Cameron's going to start rolling out to his left, then gives to Alston at the last second. He gets a lot of green grass in front of him, able to shake one tackler there. That's Mike Jones, the safety, and able to get inside the Dixie State 20-yard line.
40-yard run for Dion Alston. This may just turn into a shootout. Neither defense able to really get any stops right now. And it's 11:50 to go here in the second. Mexico Highlands knocking on the door in the red zone once again. 15-10 Dixie State lead, but perhaps not for long. They toss it outside to Desmond Scott, and he has nowhere to go. He'll lose 5 yards back to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, great play here by the Dixie State defensive line. That's Leseni Sewell. He gets in there first. Looks like they might have ran a little bit of a reverse play, but able to bring him down behind the line, also with Alex Lilliard there as well for the tackle for a loss, about 5 yards.
Second down and 15. Started to mention this earlier and didn't have time to finish my thought. Marty Fine and offensive coordinator Matt Clark have got some interesting things going on. A lot of misdirection, a lot of movement. That one didn't fool anybody. Cameron, pressure comes. He's able to pass out of it. Pass complete to Drew Tolles. No, he dropped it. Incomplete. Danny Cameron had to get rid of it as the pressure came quickly from the left end. And the pass falls incomplete, third down and 15.
Pressure came from Anthony Yarbrough, able to get a hand on Danny Cameron, maybe forcing just a little bit of a high throw. Drew Tolles not able to bring it in, forces third down and 15.
Big time third down. We'll call this perhaps the play of the first half. You hear the Dixie State faithful getting loud below us. 10:55 to go. Good shot of the Dixie State band for UTV viewers. Alston is back in for this third down play. Delayed handoff again. His stiff arm, and he's got, where did he step out of bounds? Short of the first down by 3 yards. Needed 15, got 12. Could not tiptoe the sideline. In fact, they might give him 13 on this play. Here comes the field goal unit. Dixie State defense gets a little bit lucky.
Yeah, same play that's ran before, but Dixie State covers it a little bit better this time, forces him to the outside, uses that sideline as an extra defender, pushes him out 3 yards short, will force a field goal attempt.
Israel Farfan. The wind has died down considerably from where it was. Still a little bit of a breeze. This one from 30 yards, left hash. The snap. The kick is up, and it hits the post. Hits the left goal post. No good from 30 yards. The Dixie State defense holds, and that is the first miss of the season for Israel Farfan.
You mentioned Israel Farfan, just about as good as they come. One of the best kickers in the nation. Pulls this one a little bit to the left side. Can't keep it inside the left upright. Bangs it off the post, and Dixie State will take over at the 20-yard line.
I feel like maybe Dixie State dodging some bullets here. You had the PAT block that was then scooped up and run into the end zone by Teviotolu Ta'u, and that was just a senior move. That was a senior offensive lineman that's been around, has played. He played at Weber State. He's played at Division I level. He knew that play was not dead. Heads up play for him. He runs it in there. Dixie State defense able to hold on this end, and then they get some luck. The field goal try bangs off the left upright, and Dixie State will get it back with 10:26 to go until halftime. Maybe some time to take some time off the clock. If you punch in another score, you'll be in a good spot before the break. Easton Smith fakes the handoff, rolls out to his right, passes at the tight end, and he dropped it. Hunter Christensen couldn't bring it in.
Yeah, this is just a drop here, Carrick. Play action off to the left side. Easton rolling back now to his right. A little bit of a low throw, but certainly one you think the receiver could bring in there. Unfortunate drop there for the tight end, Hunter Christensen.
I mean, it only would have been about a 1 or 2 yard gain. So as far as that goes, not the end of the world, but you just don't want to see your receivers out there dropping passes. Smith will give to C.J. Luongo right up the middle. He'll go for, call it 5 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 5 from the Dixie State 25-yard line. One thing you don't want to do here is go 3 and out. You'd love to move the chains, keep that clock rolling toward halftime.
Yeah, Luongo, you see here just going right up the middle. A good mark of a good running back is if you can fall forward, pick up that extra yard or two, especially getting extra yards after initial contact. We saw Luongo getting an extra yard or two after initial contact.
9:50 to go here in the second. 2 receivers to the far side. Smith rolls out to his right, steps up, makes a throw to the sideline, incomplete. Pressure coming, and Smith had to get rid of it. Xavier Smith couldn't quite get up and make the catch. Punting unit on for Dixie State.
Yeah, a little bit of a pressure here from the Cowboys' defensive line. Looks like that's number 97, Nick Locken, forcing the ball out a little bit sooner than Easton Smith would have liked. Xavier Smith couldn't come up with a catch a little bit high.
Back deep to receive for the Cowboys is Diego Elibario. He's standing at his own 20. High snap. The kick nearly blocked, but Carlson able to get it away. Pulled it to the left, though, and it will bounce at the 37 and go out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Dixie State will probably just take a deep breath and take that with how close it was to getting the punt blocked.
Yeah, that's number 38 for the Cowboys. Stephen Thornton able to get in there. Looked like he would have had a great chance to block that punt. Can't get a hand on it. Fortunately for Dixie State, ends up going out of bounds right around the 40-yard line. Thought it might have been a generous spot. We saw that it bounced at the 37 and bounced forward as if you're, bounced north towards the end zone, and got a generous spot there at the 40.
9:33 to go until the break. Another good drive with good field position for the Cowboys. Cameron on first down will give to the big fullback, and he powers through one tackler, can't get through the second. And it will be Kyle Murray making the tackle. But the fullback, Elijah Boyd, able to bang forward for a couple of yards.
Yeah, you see the power in those legs. Elijah Boyd able to just power through, forcing a few extra yards after contact.
Clock continuing to tick. 9:05 to go. Dixie State a 15-10 lead. High formation. Danny Cameron under center. Fakes the handoff to the fullback. Dumps it in the middle of the field. Receiver makes the catch and is brought down across the 50, down to the Dixie State 46-yard line. Pickup of 10. First down and 10 for the Cowboys in Dixie State territory.
That's DJ McFadden. You see the Dixie State defense playing a little bit of a zone there. McFadden able to just find one of those bubbles right there on the Dixie State logo. Get some space, bring it in for the first down.
One thing we have not seen yet, there have been no turnovers in this ball game. Who commits the first one? Which defense can force one here? Cameron up under center. 2 backs in the backfield with him. Cameron fires, has a man. Zach Trutolz makes the catch and is knocked out of bounds. Inside the 25 down to the 20-yard line. New Mexico Highlands in business once again in the red zone.
It's just a blown coverage for Dixie State. JT Anderson there on the left cornerback. Gives kind of a double move from Drew Tolles there. Breaks inside, Tolles breaks outside, and a big pickup for the Cowboys.
Clock rolling, 8:03 to go until halftime, 15-10. The offense hasn't been quite as explosive once that field gets a little bit shorter. We'll see if Dixie State can again rise to the occasion and try to force a field goal attempt. Cameron will hand off to Alston, cuts it up. Room to run, 10-5, diving for the pylon, touch, no. They'll mark him out of bounds. They say stepped out of bounds on his way inside. They'll mark him out at the 1-yard line. Looked like he stretched that ball out and got the pylon, but they say he's out of bounds. First and goal at the 1.
Yeah, good move here from Alston, able to make the first man miss, get to the outside.
He did step out.
Could have been a horse collar tackle almost there, able to get the hand inside the pads there, but able to bring him down just short of the goal line.
Dixie State leading 15-10. You wonder, New Mexico Highlands scores here. Is it too early to chase for points? Handoff up the middle, and he stopped short of the goal line. That's Desmond Scott. Clock rolling, 7:10 to go. Second down and goal from the half-yard line.
Good play here. You see a good push from the Dixie State line to basically no gain for Desmond Scott. Second and goal, from the 1.
Second and goal, power I formation. Right back to Scott, leaps up over the pile, and he's in. Touchdown, New Mexico Highlands. 16-15, Highlands with a 1-point lead, PAT pending, and they'll just send the kicking unit out onto the field to try to get the 1.
Yeah, good play here from Desmond Scott. Not able to pick it up on the previous play. This time decides just to go right up over the top. Crosses the goal line for the Cowboy touchdown.
6:40 to go here in the second quarter. New Mexico Highlands having its way offensively. And they march down. Kick is blocked. It's a live ball. Dixie State will try to scoop it up. It's still live, and then it will fall. Oh, it's still live. They haven't blown it dead yet. Dixie State returning, and he's knocked out of bounds. We've seen some wacky things in this game so far. Dixie State trailing by 1, 16-15, 6:40 to go here in the second. I think these officials are kind of looking at themselves going, goodness gracious, can this game get any more wacky?
Hey, that was Darren Jones on the recovery, taking it down. Not able to see who got the block there. We'll have to see on replay who got the hand in. And but yeah, kind of 2 blocked punts, both of them going for Dixie State at this point. Tough to see who gets his hand in there to block it. That looks like Remington Kelly gets in there.
Kelly blocking it. We're going to keep it right here during the break. We want to toss it down to McKinney Manu, the third guy of our crew tonight. So let's do it. We'll toss it down to McKinney Manu for a report from the sideline.
Great job by Dixie State defense by getting that field goal or PAT block. Unfortunately, they scored a touchdown, but at least we didn't let them get a PAT. Good job by the defense. They just need to step up more on the D-line and control that line of scrimmage.
Thank you, McKinney. Carrick Segmiller, Drayson Ball with you right here in the Trailblazer broadcast booth. And a reminder that everything we have going on here tonight, student produced, and everybody doing a great job. Remington Kelly getting the paw in there, getting the block. And Dixie State will have Xavier Smith and Aaron Simpson back deep to receive this kick. Farfan is going to squib it, and it'll be picked up at the 25 and fumbled. Ball is still loose. Dixie State able to dive on it. Boy, oh boy, the Dixie State returner took his eyes off the ball to look ahead of him. Fortunately, Dixie State able to dive back on it.
Looks like it might have been Desmond Davis that that jumped on that one. You see here, kind of just hesitant, can't quite pick it up there. Fortunately for Dixie State, Davis able to jump right back on it. That could have been disaster for the Trailblazers.
I think that was actually Tani Tuifua, 33 instead of 32.
Excuse me. I thought saw 32.
That's
Sorry.
all good. These jerseys can be tough to see sometimes. It's kind of a dark on dark. You helped us out last year in the media relations department. You heard me rant about dark on dark jersey numbers. It makes it hard for a sports information director to see numbers, but luckily we've got binoculars and such down here. Dixie State trailing 16-15. What do they do offensively now? You go to Sejay, powering his way across the 30. Diving to the 34-yard line, give him 6 yards on the play, second down at 6.
We've seen Dixie State go to this time and time again. Sejay Luongo up the middle, able to get a really good push from his offensive line there, and he keeps his legs low, keeps his feet churning, able to pick up about 5 yards on the carry.
Been kind of a wacky first half here, 16-15, not your typical football score. On second down, pressure comes, Smith's going down. Tried to step up in the pocket, couldn't evade the defenders, and that's Cameron Frziati with the sack.
Yeah, you see Smith try to just step up here in the pocket. Got some penetration on the edge as well. Steps up and meets Cameron Frziati right in the middle of that pocket coming from the linebacker position. You'll see it here. Frziati able to just bull rush his way through the tight end. That is Hunter Christensen. Brings Easton Smith down for a loss.
5:34 to go. Snap to Easton Smith. Fires across the middle. Dewan Dantzler makes the catch at the 45. Is stacked up by a couple of defenders. He's still spinning across the 50. How did he get across the 50? Big gain for the Trailblazers. Across the 50 into New Mexico Highlands territory.
You said it, Carrick, a great play. Dantzler looks like he just runs a 15-yard dig route. Going into the sidelines, cuts into the middle. And Smith's able to find him. Dantzler pushing for extra yardage, gets across the 50-yard line into Cowboy territory.
Smith, a great throw right on the money. Dantzler makes the catch, hit initially by C.J. Waite. And the rest of his crew comes in there. But Dantzler able to spin across the 50 down to the New Mexico Highlands 48-yard line. Trailblazers in the shotgun. Smith claps his hands. They're going to go reverse here to Isaiah Wooden. They scored a touchdown on this play last week across the 40 down to the 35-yard line and then eventually stopped. But a first down play, kind of a slow developing reverse. But Isaiah Wooden has the speed, and he goes for another Trailblazer first down.
Great play here. You see the give to Luongo, back to Wooden on the end around reverse. Easton Smith out here blocking in front, gets a key block on number 29, David Muldrow, and projects Woodson to get a bunch of extra yards. You'll see it again here on replay. Easton Smith not only plays quarterback, he plays blocker as well, projecting that run.
Snap to Easton Smith, play action. Has time, fires sideline, and Brad Duran was wide open. He's mad at himself because he couldn't get to that one. That's the kind of guy he is, but that ball needs to be brought down just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit too high for Brad Duran. He's not the tallest of football players, about 5'10". Easton Smith had some time, stepped up into the pocket, just a little bit high, unable to connect with Brad Duran.
And Duran's upset too because he knows if he can make that catch in stride, he has room to turn and cut up the sideline and go and maybe even get the end zone. As it stands, it'll be second down and 10 from the 35. By the way, those ultra slow replays that you're seeing, the new 4K camera that Dixie State has and able to employ that makes for great replays. We're excited to bring you that here. Read option. Easton Smith will dive forward for 3 yards. It'll be third down and 7 from the 32-yard line. Of course, this is 4-down territory for Dixie State, so they've got 2 tries to get 7 yards. It'll bring up third down and 7.
Yeah, good read option play here by Easton Smith. You'll see here on this play, if we get a replay, might not get a replay, but fakes it to Luongo, keeps it here. You'll see he's reading that defensive lineman. That's number 96, Joseph Gutierrez. He's reading Gutierrez and see what he does. He keeps it, gets about 4 yards.
It did not fool Eli Schottmer, the linebacker, though. Fire to the sideline. Dewan Dantzler can't quite make the catch. Both referees throw in their hat. That means that Dewan Dantzler was forced out of bounds by the defender. And that's Willie Morris making the breakup, and he's letting everybody know about it. And kind of He's still celebrating it. 30 seconds after the play. It'll be 4th down and 7. But like I said, 4 down in territory for the Trailblazers. Looked like there might have been a little contact from Morris on that left side before the ball got in there. Flags stay in the pockets. And like I said, no man's land for Dixie State, so they go for it on 4th and 7. They converted on a long 4th down early in the game. What do they do here? 3:28 to go until halftime.
Empty backfield for Smith.
Pressure comes. They'll lob it up. Dancer doesn't even know the ball's in the air. Smith had to get rid of it because the blitz came, and DeJuan Dantzler was running a longer route. Didn't even know the ball was coming. If he did, he could have circled back and made that catch. The defender didn't really know it was coming either. But credit New Mexico Highlands for the blitz on that one. Turnover on downs.
Yeah, the Cowboys brought the house here. Just kind of a throw them up. Hopefully the receiver can go get it. No such luck for the Trailblazers, and they turn it over on downs.
Now a critical defensive drive for Dixie State. 3:24 to go until the break. One thing you do not want to do, Dixie State will get the ball. They'll be kicking off. The Trailblazers will in the second half. So you do not want to allow points and then let New Mexico Highlands get the second half kickoff as well. Cameron will pitch it out to the right side. It's Scott making his way around the right end, makes the first man miss, and then it's banging down at the 40-yard line. He'll be 1 yard shy of the first down, a 9-yard pickup. 3:17 to go. He's hit out of bounds, so the clock will continue to run. Thought he got out of bounds, but they'll continue to run it.
Yeah, Trayvon Watson, first here on the scene, knocks him out of bounds. Just shy of the 40. Looks like it might be right at the 40, but not before Desmond Scott can get out around the edge and pick up a bunch of yards.
16-15, New Mexico Highlands leading by 1. Cameron, delayed handoff. Defense is there, and they wrap him up this time. What a hit by Anthony Yarbrough. He was the second one to get to him, but he drove the ball carrier to the ground, had some help from a teammate slowing him down a little bit, and then Yarbrough getting in there and laying the hit.
Yeah, the gift to it was Jaron Manning. Anthony Yarbrough was busting up field and then was able to come back and bring him down. They do get the first down, however.
Alex Lilliard got the hands around the ankles a little bit that at least changed the path of the run and allowed Yarbrough to get in there and make the stop. First down and 10. Only needed 1 for the first down. 2:15 to go until halftime. Ball at the New Mexico Highlands 41. Handoff, and Dixie State will wrap up the ball carrier, and he's brought down for a loss of 1.
Yeah, I think that was 44. Jordan Nichols was first there on the scene. Got a hand on the running back, able to slow him up a little bit, wait for the horses to pick him up. Excuse me, no, that was number 99, Sebastian DiMartini, first there. Slow him up for the Dixie State defense to collapse on him.
1:44 and ticking to go here in the second quarter. Mentioned it earlier, we'll say it again. Still no turnovers in this ball game. Cameron under center. Delayed handoff to Alston. This play has been money for them, but not this time. He'll lose 2 yards. 3rd down and 12 upcoming from the 38-yard line.
Yeah, Charlie Coca gets unblocked, gets right through the line, is able to just alter the path of Alston before Watson can get there, and brings him down right behind the line, about a 2-yard loss.
New Mexico Highlands so far 0 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. Under a minute to go. Critical 3rd down here. 3rd down and 12. Cameron with 2 receivers to either side looking. Drops it inside. Catch is made. First down yardage and more. Knocked out of bounds. New Mexico Highlands sideline asking for a flag for a hit out of bounds, but Devin Henderson making the catch, making the first down, and the drive continues for New Mexico Highlands.
Yeah, Devin Henderson just runs a simple drag route across the middle of the field. Danny Cameron, you'll see him on the bottom of your screen going out of the top of your screen. Just a simple drag route. The defense forgets about him. Catches the ball with a lot of room to run. Gets out just shy of the Trailblazers' 40.
39 ticks remaining here in the first half. Fresh set it down to New Mexico Highlands. They've got all 3 timeouts to work with as well. Cameron steps back. They're going for the home run ball. McFadden in the area, and he makes the catch. Dixie State trying to argue that it was incomplete. Now the other official is going to come over. And that's just to help spot the ball. McFadden makes the catch down to the 10-yard line. Timeout, New Mexico Highlands.
Yeah, double move by McFadden here. Fakes the 5-yard out route, gets the defender to Deke, then he turns it upfield. You'll see it here on replay. He turns it upfield and is able to bring in the catch. That's number 19, J.T. Anderson.
Ooh, I don't think he secured that thing all the way through.
Let's see the replay here.
We can get a look at it.
Oh, what a great view. Oh, can't quite see the replay there, but it does look like it bobbles. No replay in Division II college football. Carrick obviously won't matter, but
we'll slow this one down for us. This was the better look.
Ball's on
secures it there. You see the fall there, and right here you see the ball shifting. I don't know.
It does slip
close
a little
enough
bit.
to me.
Good enough.
I think he caught it.
I think he caught it as well. Setting up for the Dixie State a 1st and goal situation with about 32 seconds left on the clock. Carrick, we saw him put up a defensive stand earlier in the game. They forced a field goal attempt inside the red zone. We'll see if they'll be able to do that same thing here again.
Have to. This is almost a backbreaker. I mean, it's just a one. Wouldn't be the end of the world, but cannot give up a touchdown here, and pass is incomplete. Flag will fly. Pass interference going to be called. And New Mexico Highlands going to have this ball at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, that's the right call. It's Darren Jones in coverage for the Trailblazers.
Pass interference. Number 8, defense. By rule, the ball placed at 2-yard line.
Yeah, like I said, Darren Jones on the coverage there. That's the right call. You see him up the top of your screen here. He'll come in, just grabbing that right arm all the way of Darren McFadden.
I see it, but I see McFadden's left arm on Jones's right shoulder pushing off the entire way as well. If you're going to allow contact from one side, you've got to let contact go from the other side. For me, that's no flag, but the officials saw it differently. It'll be 1st and goal from the 2. And off to Scott, and he stopped. Did he stretch the ball out? No, he did not. He's to the 1-yard line. Mexico Highlands will take a timeout with 22 seconds remaining.
Yeah, this is the play that worked before. Last time they were at the goal line. This time, Scott doesn't try to jump over the line, tries to extend the ball there at the end, but as he was down.
I think they're going to give him a good spot. The knee was down well before he stretched the ball out as well. You'll see that here if the play continues all the way through. Jordan Nichols, first Trailblazer to get to him down there, and the ball was down closer to the 2-yard line, and they're actually going to give him the stretch.
Yeah, tough play there. What a great replay, especially with that
new
super
camera they've
slow
got there.
motion. Credit to CEC Television for that great look right down the goal line. Awesome look there. So Cowboys set up 2nd and 1. Plenty of time left on the clock. That's not an issue. They'll have plenty of time. They can do whatever they want here, Carrick. They can run the ball if they want to. They can try to throw a couple of passes out of the end zone if they want, if they don't have anything there. Playbook is wide open at this point for the Cowboys.
2nd down and goal from the 1. Can the Dixie State defense hold here? I formation. The power I. Alston in the back. The fullback, Jason Aguiar, in the front. And where's the ball end up? Touchdown. Touchdown to Mexico Highlands. Kind of a little bit of a backbreaker for Dixie State. Just a 1-point lead now. Now it grows to a 7-point lead. So it remains just a 1-score game pending the PAT. But just before halftime, and New Mexico Highlands gets it to start the second half as well.
Yeah, just a simple quarterback keeper. Danny Cameron just gets a good push, receives an extra little help from Jason Aguirre, the fullback right there. You'll see the ball cross the goal line right about there. He stretches out. Yep, touchdown. Gets across the line, taking the Cowboys up 22-15.
PAT is up and good. 23-15, Dixie State trailing, 13.4 seconds to play. Let's take just a 30-second timeout. Come right back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
Hey, I ordered a large veggie with garlic herb crust.
Veggie? I thought you were more of a meat eater's man.
Oh, I am, but now I can do both. Look, flavor patch.
How does that work? What happens when that's gone?
I've got Howie bread strapped to my legs.
Flavor fanatics love us because we make our dough fresh daily and have meal deals for any budget.
Hungry?
Howie's! Flavor fanatics welcome.
.4 seconds remaining until halftime. Dixie State defense was able to bend and not break early. They break there, 23-15 on some breakdowns in the secondary. They'll go squib kick to try to avoid a return, but it is scooped up by Xavier Smith at the 10, across the 30, cuts inside of the 40, and it is tackled out of bounds at the 45. 6 seconds remaining. Some extracurriculars after the play, no flags thrown. That makes you wonder, are you close enough now to you're at the, where are they going to mark this thing? 46-yard line? You're close enough, the 6 seconds remaining, you might want to just take a shot at the end zone and see what happens. We'll see if they do that or not. If it were me, I probably would. They mark it at the 47. So you're looking at a 53-yard field here.
Yeah, a lot of different options here. They're going to kind of play a prevent defense. You see the corners playing about 15 yards off. The safety's well beyond that. Feet at about the 20, 25-yard line.
Here we go. Snap to Smith. Drops back, looking. He'll just drop it. Luongo short across the 50 to the 40. Play has expired, and that is how the first half will end. We won't see a throw to the end zone, perhaps just wanting to keep a turnover off the board. And that will end the first half. Dixie State has done some pretty good things, but New Mexico Highlands has been able to do whatever it wants offensively. A 23-15 lead for the Trailblazers. Drayson, your quick hitter thoughts before we go to the halftime break.
Trailblazers have to be able to stop the run. Alston's been able to get loose. Desmond Scott's been able to get loose a few times. They've got to key in on those running backs, but not only that, they've got to be better in the secondary. They've given up some big plays through the air, blown coverages, open receivers, things like that. They've got to be better in that aspect as well. If they clean up their defensive line, able to slow down those running backs, and their secondary can be a little bit better, not giving up those big chunk yards through the air, they'll have a good chance in the second half.
Let's bring in the third member of our crew, McKinney Manu, for a report from the sideline.
Great first half by Dixie State Trailblazers. They did pretty well by being able to control that line of scrimmage. Unfortunately, we got some scores by New Mexico Highlands, and hopefully next half they'll come out stronger on the offensive line. If they control the line of scrimmage, they'll be able to control the game. So big ups to the offensive line for giving some protection for the quarterback.
Thank you, McKinney. Appreciate it. Their third member of the crew. Again, we got a great crew of students from both the Radio Dixie 91.3 and then the CEC TV as well, helping us out with all of their great stuff here at this football game. 23-15, Dixie State trailing at the half. We're going to step away, take the full 5-minute halftime break. We'll toss it back to Martin in the radio side in the 91.3 studios. When we come back, Drayson on the TV side. Drayson and I will have your halftime report for you. We'll break it all down and get you ready for the first half. 5-minute timeout and back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
From surgical suites to patient rooms to conference rooms. In scrubs, suits, or sneakers. With stethoscopes, computer code, or mops. We are all caregivers. Intermountain Healthcare. Healing for life.
There is a place where the desert comes alive, where rain breaks forth from solid stone and gardens spring from blistered rock. There is a place with enough color to make a rainbow jealous, where boulders are bigger than buildings and cliffs are higher than clouds. There is a place that will straighten your step, tighten your grip, widen your eyes, and open your jaw. There is a place.
I'm Jimmy. This is my definition of fresh since 1983.
At Kneaders, we start simple, making bread from scratch with just a handful of ingredients. It's not the easy way, but it's worth it. Honest bread made without shortcuts. When you come to Kneaders, every loaf of bread, every sandwich starts here. Yes, it takes more time, but that's why we get an early start. Stop by today for dine-in, takeout, or drive-through.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Hey Dixie State fans, this is Carrick Sagmiller.
And Drayson Ball.
We're here to tell you about Trailblazer Weekly, our new show airing every Wednesday at 3 p.m. beginning on August 29th on CEC TV, the Dixie State Athletics YouTube page, and on Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
On Trailblazer Weekly, we'll bring you in-depth interviews with Dixie State coaches, administrators, and student athletes. We'll also keep you up to date with all the latest Trailblazer athletics news and game analysis.
Don't miss a second of the action. If it's anything Dixie State Athletics, it's on Trailblazer Weekly every Wednesday at 3 p.m. beginning on August 29th on CEC TV, the Dixie State Athletics YouTube page, and on Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Are we there yet?
Yep. We're here.
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Are we good?
Yeah.
There we are. Hi, I'm Eric Young.
And I'm Jennifer Kohler.
And this is, we're coming to you right before our show that we go live with Talking Point Live. And we just wanted to tell you to make sure you join us Wednesdays at 9:30, live coming to you from the studios of the CEC here on the campus of Dixie State University.
Yeah, and you can catch the rebroadcast at 9:30 when we're not live, and 12:30 and 4:30. Daily, weekly.
Daily? This is like way too much,
Yeah.
I think. But just in case you got something better to do,
Yeah.
there's all those times you can catch it as well. Also, you can catch us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/TalkingPointLive and on the CEC YouTube channel. All right, see you there.
We're basically very catchable.
Well, you are.
Mountain America for the money machine. Now get on your feet, get loud for Mountain America t-shirt toss. Come on, make some noise. These are Mountain America t-shirts. All right, folks, now turn your attention to the field, where a lucky Trailblazer fan will be attempting to kick a field goal for a chance to win $1,000.
You guys ready to see somebody win some money? So, my name's Andrew. I'm here with McMullen Legal Group, and we're going to give 4 fans a chance to win $1,000. I'm going to set them up on the 20-yard line. Let's put them right in the middle. Okay, let's let you guys meet our contestants. We got contestant 1.
I'm Rachel Harris.
May, follow me on Instagram.
Brandon Johnson. Sterling Coons. All right, you guys ready to see this? $1,000 bucks. We're also going to have some of Brooks' buddies are going to retrieve the ball for us and run it back, okay? Thanks, guys. All right, you're up. Ooh, it's a good try. It's a good try. Thank you. All right, let's give her a round of applause. Let's go, guys. These guys are feeling the pressure. You want to set it up on the stand? All right. Pressure situation. All eyes on her. You got it. Hard. Ooh, she got it up in the air. Didn't have the leg. Thanks so much. All right. Now, if nobody makes it, our 2 closest are going to get a consolation prize of a free Bluetooth headset. But I've got confidence. Got it? All right. Get a good run at it. There we go. Ball's up. Oh, stay flat. Stay flat. Have the power. All right, we got one more. Let's give him a round of applause. Now this guy, when we picked him, he got out of the stands, went home,
Welcome back inside the booth on the Trailblazer Stadium. Carrick Sagmiller, Drayson Ball with you. A little bit of an extended halftime break. You guys got to eat at halftime, you know what I mean? Dixie State trailing 23-15 at the half. We just had a fan make a 30-yard field goal for $1,000. Maybe that'll send a little magic Dixie State's way. But welcome back inside the broadcast booth as Drayson and I break down the first half for you and get you set for the second half. Let's jump right into it. First thing we want to look at is just the numbers. As a team, Dixie State, 184 yards of total offense. If you compare that with the first half, they had 110 yards of total offense in the first quarter, only 74 yards in the second quarter. And New Mexico Highlands has turned things around, just 90 yards of total offense after the first, and then at halftime, 259 yards of total offense for New Mexico Highlands, and 152 of those on the ground. Dixie State got to try to figure something out on that ground game. Individually, Dion Alston has surpassed 100 yards already. 8 carries on only 8 carries, Drayson. 8 carries for 117 yards. He's averaging just about 15 yards per carry right now. Danny Cameron, 5 of 10 through the air for 107 yards. For Dixie State, Seiji Luongo, 15 carries. He's got 63 yards. Easton Smith, 7 of 15 for 96 yards and a touchdown. Dwan Dantzler and Brad Duran have 2 catches each. Jordan Nichols leading the defense with 5 tackles for Dixie State. And Eli Schottmer, we mentioned him. You're going to hear his name a lot for this New Mexico Highlands defense. 9 tackles in the first half for the Cowboys. Drayson, your thoughts on the first half. What do you see when you look at that page? What jumps out at you?
Well, the one thing that jumps out to me, Carrick, you mentioned it, Dion Alston, 117 yards from scrimmage on just 8 carries. That is where Dixie State, the Dixie State defense has to be better. You look around the other stat sheet, nothing else really jumps out at you. A couple of receivers with 40 yards receiving. Danny Cameron, 107 yards through the air on just 5 completions. Nothing else really jumping out from the page other than that 117 yards on the ground for Dion Alston. That's where Dixie State has to be better. Their defensive line has to wrap up on initial contact. Their secondary has to come down. They have to crash down at the line of scrimmage, Carrick. They can't sit back and wait on their heels and wait for Alston to make a move, get to the edge. He uses speed. The secondary of the Trailblazers, we're talking about the linebacking core, the cornerbacks, the safeties. They have to recognize the run blocking, crash down the offensive line, and wrap up Dion Alston as soon as they can get to him. We've seen him be able to make a few men miss, get out to the outside, get in some space to run. That's where he's done his damage, and that's what Dixie State has to limit if they want to come back in the second half.
It'll be interesting to see, and you and I were talking about this at halftime, how much of the Marty Fine and I don't know how much hand Marty Fine, the New Mexico Highlands coach, has in the offensive play calling, but it'll be interesting to see how much the Marty Fine / Matt Clark offense, how much of the playbook have we seen, and how much new will they roll out in the second half? Conversely, how will Dixie State adjust to, like you said, those Dion Alston runs? It seems like they're all misdirected. They either delay handoff, he starts on the inside, kicks it back out to the outside. Dixie State has got to adjust defensively, and that's kind of a Captain Obvious comment. But we talked about our keys to the game. The middle one was limited. The first one was slow down Alston. Well, if you're going to grade that out, you haven't done very good on that so far. You want to win the battle on the line. There's plenty of room for Alston to run, so there's improvement there, and create big plays. Dixie State has Brad Duran had a long catch on the drive that he's caught a touchdown pass, but every time that you've done something big, and New Mexico Highlands has been able to swing that the other way. I look for Dixie State, I think, to really get momentum back their way. Got to have them force a couple of turnovers this half. New Mexico Highlands has taken very good care of the ball this season. +5 in the turnover margin, 7 gained, only 2 lost, and we're seeing that here. But Dixie State, I think, to really get momentum back their way, you got to see a couple turnovers forced this half.
Yeah, I agree, Carrick. That's one of the quickest and easiest surefire ways to get back into a game. Force a couple of turnovers, interceptions, fumbles, whatever they may be. That's a good way to get yourself back in the game, Carrick. Going back to Alston, you mentioned he's a very patient runner. We've noticed that on delayed carries, delayed handoffs. He's able to survey the line, survey the defense, survey where players are going to be, where his blockers are at, able to follow along his blockers, and then as we see, when he gets open, when he gets into space, able to juke, make a few guys miss. He's very shifty, and he's very, very fast.
Just over a minute left until the second half starts, so let's do this. We're going to step away for 60 seconds. When we come back, we'll give you just a couple quick thoughts on what we want to see in the second half, and then it will be time for the second half. Dixie State trailing 23-15. Can they turn it around in the second half? We'll find out after the 60-second timeout on the Trailblazer Football Network.
There is a place where looking out means looking in, where an impression lasting only a few seconds will be imprinted on a life forever, where courage is forged and innocence rediscovered, where remembering is rewarding and forgetting unforgettable. There is a place where truth is felt, and where seeing is believing. There is a place.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this. I need a one dance. And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Welcome back inside Trailblazer Stadium. Dixie State, New Mexico Highlands locked in an RMAC battle. Trailblazers trailing 23-15 as we get set for second half action. Anthony Jurgensen will put this one back into play. Drayson, who we got back deep for the Cowboys?
You got number 21, TJ Jackson, as well as number 10, Devin Henderson.
We were just talking during the break and really want to see Dixie State try to get a 3-and-out on this possession. A little squib kick. Dixie State, a fumble. Ball is loose. And who's got it? Still loose. Dixie State dives on top of it. We talked about forcing big plays, and that one just squirted out. Wasn't really forced, but the Trailblazers able to take advantage.
And Ryan Wilson falls on it for the Trailblazers. What a start to the second half, Carrick. A big break for the Trailblazers. They're kicking off to start the second half, gets a forced fumble, kind of an unforced error there by Devin Henderson. We'll see on the replay here. Just loses it. He's untouched, just loses it, and there to fall on it, like I mentioned, is Ryan Wilson. Great play. It sets up the Trailblazer offense right to begin the second half.
Now, just what the doctor ordered. It'll be 1st and 10 for Dixie State. Say-Jay Luongo at the right hip of Easton Smith. 2 receivers to the far side, 2 receivers to the near side. Shotgun snap to Smith. Say-Jay plows his way up the middle. Looked like he was going to be stopped short. And he goes for 9 yards on the carry. Say-Jay Luongo. Steamrolling.
We've seen this time and time again, Carrick, just going up the gut with the Trailblazers as they go to hurry up.
Quick snap to Smith, hand off to Say-Jay again, moving right now, cuts it back on the side. He's going to score, 22-yard touchdown carry. Say-Jay Luongo, his first touchdown of the season. Trailblazers back within 2, 23-21 with a PAT pending, 14:26 to go in the second.
And the Trailblazers capitalize immediately on the turnover with 34 seconds into the second half. Say-Jay Luongo right up the middle is patient enough to survey the defense, makes one cut and has a bunch of green grass ahead of him, goes for the Dixie State touchdown.
Anthony Jurgensen on for the point after. We've seen a couple blocked on each side. The kick is up, and it's good. Great look from our sideline camera. Dixie State gets the turnover, and 2 plays later, they score the touchdown. 23-22. Dixie State within 1. 14:26 to go in the third. 60-second timeout and back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
Hey Dixie State fans, this is Carrick Sagmiller.
And Drayson Ball.
We're here to tell you about Trailblazer Weekly, our new show airing every Wednesday at 3 p.m., beginning on August 29th on CEC TV, the Dixie State Athletics YouTube page, and on Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
On Trailblazer Weekly, we'll bring you in-depth interviews with Dixie State coaches, administrators, and student athletes. We'll also keep you up to date with all the latest Trailblazer athletics news and game analysis.
Don't miss a second of the action. If it's anything Dixie State Athletics, it's on Trailblazer Weekly every Wednesday at 3 p.m., beginning on August 29th on CEC TV, the Dixie State Athletics YouTube page, and on Radio Dixie 91.3 FM. Another squib kick for Dixie State. It is picked up. Trying to break it outside, cuts it back inside, and he's stopped near the 30-yard line, right at the 30-yard line. Now they'll move it back to the 29-yard line. Devin Henderson on the return, holds on to it that time, but the momentum has swung, and with only 41 seconds gone by in the third quarter, Dixie State has pulled to within one, 23-22.
Yeah, a little squib kick here. Hey, why not go right back to Devin Henderson, the person who just fumbled on the previous kickoff. He holds it onto it this time, then gets gang rushed there at the 29-yard line to start this drive off for the Cowboys.
With that touchdown run, Seijay Luongo has gone 93 yards on 17 carries and a touchdown. Flags fly. We're going to have delay of game. Play clock at 0.
Delay of game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
So New Mexico Highlands, even though they had the halftime lead, a little shaky right out the gate here in the third quarter.
A turnover and a delay of game penalty. No excuses on either one of those plays. We'll see how they continue, now backed up 5 yards to begin this drive.
On first down, they're going to run the reverse. Dixie State able to recognize it, and Devin Henderson goes down. In fact, he's going to lose a couple yards.
That's a great open field tackle there by JT Anderson. Got there early, was able to trip up Henderson. Well, he was able to keep his feet a little bit, but not before the gang of Dixie State Trailblazers followed behind and brought him down behind the line of scrimmage.
Another great look from our CEC TV camera. Trayvon Watson was in the area. Yarbrough forces him outside, and then you see Anderson come in and trip him up. Here we go. Second down and 17. 13:34 to go in the third. Cameron will hand off. Hole plugged up quickly. It'll go for 2 yards. It'll be third down and 15. Alex Lilliard coming out of that pile fired up. No doubt he was part of that. And now you're going to see a little difference Dixie State defensively. I had forgotten about this. Abraham Reinhart is back out onto the field for the second half. He missed the first half at linebacker because of the targeting penalty in the second half last week. That will help Dixie State defensively in the second half. 12:50 to go in the third. Third down and 15. And Dixie State forced a 3-and-out delayed handoff. Alston makes the first man miss, and the second man, and he's knocked out of bounds. A lot of running. Some extracurriculars there. Shiloh Pritchard has just got to disengage right there. He forces Alston out of bounds. He picked up, close to 7 or 8 yards on the carry, but he needed 15 for the first down as they're able to force him out. Still a few concerning things on that play. 2 tackles missed, but Pritchard able to force him out of bounds, and they'll have to punt.
Got some fancy footwork from Alston, but good for the Dixie State defense. We're able to force him out of bounds there, well shy of the line to gain.
Matthew Rodriguez in to punt for Mexico Highlands. Aaron Simpson standing at his own 25. The punt is in. Falls, and it will take, kind of a neutral bounce. It looked like it was going to bounce back and take a Dixie State bounce. There is a flag on the play. Ball's resting at the Dixie State 33-yard line. Flag back down at the New Mexico Highlands 39. We wait for the call.
Holding, number 47, return team. 10-yard first down.
So holding, although there was no return, apparently there can still be holding on a non-return. That will back Dixie State back to the 23-yard line. There's a couple that, there was a play last week too where Dixie State, it was late, wouldn't have mattered. Dixie State scored a touchdown, but they called a pass interference, offensive pass interference on the other end of the end zone. I look at it logically and say, hey, if it doesn't affect the play, it shouldn't be a flag. Jay Luongo around the right end, picks up 3 yards. Now there's certain things, personal fouls and sportsmanlike conducts after the play, yes, certainly. But
you see here, Luongo, just a quick pitch out to the right side. That's number 96 in pursuit for the Cowboys. Joseph Gutierrez in pursuit, forcing in Luongo to the outside just to pick up a 3.
Luongo, 93 yards on the ground now. Smith back to pass, looking, has a man, and he goes, kind of checks down and goes to the outside to Connor Miller. Instead, DeJuan Dantzler had a beat on the defender across the middle. I don't think Easton Smith saw him, or at least felt comfortable trying to make that throw.
Yeah, see plenty of time here for Smith. He's got a man open here at your bottom of the screen. A few guys open there as well. Decides to go on the check down route. Can't complete the pass.
3rd down and 7. Dixie State now in danger of going 3 and out quickly. Clock stopped at 11:53. Jay Luongo at 96 yards. It's been a while since Dixie State has had a 100-yard rusher. Designed quarterback keeper. Easton Smith gets a block. 35-40, out of bounds for the first down. A flag flies late. With how late that flag flew, I think the first down, if it's holding, I think the first down stands. Because look at where the flag's resting. It's beyond the first down marker.
We'll have to see what the call is. The Cowboys defense certainly believes that it's on Dixie State. We'll have to see what the white hat says here as they try to solve it, figure out where to mark it. They are marking it in the Dixie State direction, however.
Holding, number 88, offense. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Coach McClure, you can hear him through the ref mic there. They're arguing that it should be, they're saying 3rd down, but this, where they threw the flag at the spot of the foul, it was way past the first down marker. That should be a first down. Should be a first down. 3rd down and 1, they're going to say, after they bring the 10 yards back for holding. Great play, and is brought back by holding call.
Yeah, you see it there on your screen.
The flag is resting at the 40.
Wonder if they must have declared 10 yards from where the foul occurred, which may have been, before the 40 a little bit.
And perhaps he was just late getting the flag out.
Perhaps.
That could have happened. Perhaps late getting the flag out, just needed to get the flag out there. Coach McClure still arguing that that's a textbook block, shouldn't be a hold. He's not going to win that argument. The penalty's already been called.
And key for the defender in that situation, Carrick, is you can't get your arms outside like on the shoulder pads.
Yeah.
Have to keep your arms inside in the middle of the jersey. Anytime you get the arms on the outside of the defender on his shoulders, that's usually when the referee throws the flag for holding.
$11:28 to play here in the 3rd. Dixie State trailing 23-22. Looked like they had something going. It's too bad too that there's a holding penalty, because now that play call is, the cat's out of the bag. A beautifully called quarterback keeper. Caught New Mexico Highlands off balance. Easton Smith went for a big gain, but it comes back 10 yards. Now it's 3rd down and 1. It's interesting to see what they dial up here on the 3rd and 1 call. Man in motion. Smith firing, pass is incomplete. Pass was intended to Blake Kilgore, the tight end, and it was knocked out of his hands, incomplete. That holding penalty changed the entire complexion of the drive. Credit to Willie Morris for knocking that ball out of Kilgore's hands.
Yeah, pass thrown just a little bit behind Kilgore. Has to turn around, stopping his forward momentum. If the pass leads Kilgore towards the sideline, I think they make that catch and able to get the first down.
Carlson gets the punt away. Elibario waiting for it at the 20, makes a catch, and is brought down immediately. Great coverage there by Dixie State. And for the second time today, at least in this second half, New Mexico Highlands will have to go pretty much a full field. You saw what happened last time they had to do that. Dixie State forced a 3 and out.
Yeah, a good punt here. Able to change kind of the field, the play of fill the play. Excuse me. Able to change field here and knock him back down inside the 25-yard line. One of the best, as far as Dixie State's defense is concerned, one of the best filling starts at a drive for the Cowboys.
One of just 3 times tonight, and the Cowboys have started inside their own 30. Cameron under center. Cowboys do a lot of that. Stretch handoff in the backfield. Alston tries to turn on the Jets, and he's met and driven back. Adjustment made.
And that was Wes Moyai in the backfield there to just change the direction there of the runner and able to force him back into his help. You'll see it here. Wes Moyai forcing the runner kind of cut upfield a little bit into more Dixie State Trailblazer defense.
I think Mike Jones had the tackle on the play. He came out of the pile, fired up. Coming up from safety. 10:35 and ticking here in the third quarter. 23-22, New Mexico Highlands the lead. Play action, pressure comes. Cameron avoids one tackler, but not the second. And the sack is made well in the backfield. Kyle Murray, his first game this season, and he makes his presence known.
Yeah, just bull rushes the left tackle here. Is able to get around the outside. Pressure from a few different Trailblazers. You'll see just runs across. Actually, the running back there is Alston. Alston misses the block and able to take him down well behind the line of scrimmage.
Now it's going to be 3rd down and forever. This Dixie State defense turning to the crowd, telling them to get loud. Of course, cheerleaders are throwing out mini footballs right now too, so good timing on their part to try to get this crowd going. 3rd down and 19. Cameron, pressure comes, dumps it inside, catch is made, but the receiver falls to the ground. Devin Henderson catches it and falls. If he doesn't fall, he's got some open real estate in front of him. He might go somewhere.
Yeah, and the Trailblazers brought the house, bringing 2 blitzers on here. Devin Henderson catches the ball just across the 20-yard line, loses his footing. In college, you are down once you go to the ground.
Yep.
An elbow, a knee, anytime with your backside, that's when you're declared down, different from the NFL where you need to be touched down to be declared down.
So it'll be Rodriguez punting from his own 10. Gets it away, end over end kick, kind of side by side, touched and downed. That ball might have kept going if they let it go, but it'll be downed across the 35. Oh, they originally touched it at the 41. A good field position for Dixie State. So the script flipping a little bit here in the second half in the way of New Mexico Highlands having poor field position, Dixie State having pretty good field position.
And what did we say in the halftime show, Carrick? Got to control the line of scrimmage. That's where everything has been going wrong for the Dixie State defense in the first half. So far in the second half, the line has been able to get a lot of push. We've seen Mike Jones come in, make some tackles from the secondary. That's where they need to improve on. They've done a good job so far in the second half.
8:58 to go in the third. First down, trips to the near side. Smith will swing it to Duran. Makes the catch, and I think his own guy ran into him. It's a completion, the loss of 2, and the defender on that side drove the other Dixie State receiver, at least the guy that's supposed to be out there to block, into Duran and loses a couple yards.
Yeah, you'll see kind of just a flat, kind of
boy.
Send Duran out here into the flat, and kind of taken down by his own teammate, Connor Miller. 2-yard loss on the play.
Miller in motion from right to left. Trips to the far side now. Shotgun snap. Smith, slant route, gets it to Miller. Cuts outside, now back inside, across the 45, driving the legs down to near the 50. He needed 12, got 11 on the play. We'll have 1 yard to go still. 3rd down and 11. And
a good play here after the catch is made. Connor Miller makes the catch at about the 43, 44-yard line. He's able to push forward, get it to midfield as the Trailblazers go hurry up.
Hurry up. Ethan Smith is just going to try to quarterback keeper, dives into the pile. And where that referee is running in right now, that's right at the marker. That should move the sticks. Needed just 1 yard.
We got a good view of it here, Carrick, right down the 50.
That's right on the marker.
It looks like it is short of the hash mark. If we're looking here for the sticks, might be about a half a yard short, maybe 6 inches short. They are going to come out and measure.
Yeah. I feel like he got a better push than that.
Yeah, I don't know if he got the greatest spot. We'll see here. Great camera view right here. Looks like he will be about 6 inches short.
Half a football short. If you're Dixie State, I don't know how aggressive you want to be, but I would not fault the decision to go for it here. Dixie State crowd urging them to go, and I think the offense is going to stay on the field.
And I think you just go back to that same play, that quarterback keeper.
You got 6 inches last time. You get 6 more inches this time, right?
Exactly. I feel like that's exactly what you want to go with here to pick up this first down, Carrick.
Critical 4th down situation. Dixie State 1 for 2 so far on 4th down tonight. They're going shotgun. Shotgun. On 4th and 1. 4th and half a yard. Perhaps trying to draw New Mexico Highlands off balance. Sage, end around left side's got the first down and more. 45-40 out of bounds. First down, Dixie State.
Great run here for Sage Luongo, able to get to the outside and make one guy miss. Would have been really close there on the outside. Is able to make the first guy miss. Are we able to see who it is? We'll get to that number, but able to get plenty of yardage, picks up the first down.
I like the misdirection at the start of the play. Send the receiver from the left side because the defense then has to pay attention to him. You've seen Dixie State run that reverse before. Now you send him. Defense has to pay attention to him. That gives Sage the time he needs to turn the corner.
And that was Malik Brown on the defensive end. Sage Luongo made miss.
First down, under center is Smith. Play action. He's going down. He'll lose 7 yards on the play. TJ Jackson blitzing for that sack.
Yeah, you'll see just a good push from the Cowboys defensive line here. TJ Jackson just gets around the outside. Is able to bring Smith down.
Had a big defensive lineman, Trey Haynes, coming in as well. I mean, even if he gets away from Jackson, I think Smith still goes down on that play. Second down and 17. You break these 17 yards into 2 chunks. What do you do here on second down? Hand off to Lawrence Starks. Big hole across the middle and a shoestring tackle. Otherwise, he might go for 6, and I think that was Eli Schottmer. Who else for this New Mexico Highlands defense? That may have been a touchdown-saving tackle, as you saw Starks getting going there.
That's what you're going to get when you run in the direction of Schottmer. He shucks his block there and just able to wrap up Starks there at the ankles and bring him down about the 45-yard line.
Give credit where credit is due. Great tackle by Eli Schottmer. Third down and 7. They go to Starks, and that's kind of a broken play in the backfield. I don't know, miscommunication about which way they were supposed to go. It looked like he and Easton Smith were doing a little dance, and then it happened again as they both tried to change direction, and Starks is able to get a couple yards up the middle. Dixie State has to go for it. You're in that no man's land. Right now you're looking at a 51-yard field goal from right here. Dixie State not going to go for that, so 4th down and 6. You got to go for it. And Dixie State convert on 4th down for the 3rd time tonight. 4th and 6. Line to gain is the 28. Smith has time, fires, has a man. Catch is made! Diving catch inside the 5. DeJuan Dantzler, oh baby!
What a play from DeJuan Dantzler here, going down the middle. A seam route kind of just up the middle. Easton Smith gets plenty of time, steps up into the pocket, fades it over, kind of a touch pass over the Cowboys secondary, and a great catch by DeJuan Dantzler. Full extension, lays out. Dixie State is set up 1st and goal inside the 5.
And now he's being attended to by Bruno Silva, the trainer. He fell hard on that one side, the one shoulder. You hope he's okay, but more importantly, Dixie State 1st and goal from the 2. Snap. Give to Starks. Misdirection. Stop to the goal line. One more surge. He's in. Lawrence Starks. 2-yard touchdown run. Dixie State back up on top. 28-23. 4:31 to play. And I think they're going to start chasing points now. I mean, not chasing points because you're on top, but it's only a 5-point lead. So I think you go for the 2 here is what it was looking like they're going to do.
Yeah, what a great drive for the Trailblazers. Carrick, second time of the night, set up by a big 4th down passing play through the air. A 2-yard touchdown for Lawrence Starks. Puts Dixie State on top 28-23. They'll go for 2 to make it a 7-point game.
What a drive. 2 4th down conversions on the drive. Here we go. Devin Osborne is in the game. Look for him to be a target in the end zone. And flag flies. Dixie State. Was it delay of game or did they burn a timeout first?
There is 0 on the play clock. There's no flags on the field at this point. Might have been a Dixie State timeout before the clock actually hit 0.
They've had to burn 2 timeouts now here.
Dixie State, second of the half.
I wonder if that will come back to bite them, but they really want to get this back out to a touchdown lead. Coach McClure having a discussion with the near side officials. Obviously, we can't tell what that is about. You go back to the drive, though. Dixie State, 9 plays, 59 yards. They've converted on 4th down 2 times. 3 of 4 now on the night on 3rd down efficiency. 2 of those have been big passes downfield. And for me, DeJuan Dantzler, the play of the game so far. We'll name a play of the game in the post-game report, but DeJuan Dantzler, the play of the game so far, as he stretches out, lays out, sacrifices his body, makes that catch, and Dixie State scores the touchdown, and they have an opportunity with the 2-point conversion to try to go back up by a full score.
Carrick, a stat that every head coach nationwide will take. 3 of 4 on 4th down conversions. As we see the play again, Easton Smith, a key, gets plenty of time, steps up into the pocket, and throws into double coverage over the secondary, and DeJuan Dantzler laying out. That will have to be nominated for top plays of the week, Carrick, in RMAC. What a tremendous play. A great drive, converting twice on 4th down. Sets up the Dixie State touchdown and a 2-point conversion to go up 7.
That we will. We'll nominate it for the Division II, NCAA Division II top plays of the week as well. We had a nomination in last week in the reverse touchdown that we all felt like should have been given consideration considering some of the plays that were selected, but a play like that may land them in the Division II top 5. Coach McClure still animated on the near sideline. He's not happy, obviously, about having to burn the timeout. Cecil Harrison, the referee, just kind of having to say, Coach, it's okay, we got this. Now they're going to line it up for the 2-point conversion. You think that the 2 points here was really important enough to burn a second timeout?
Well,
if you get it, yes.
If you get it, obviously it is. We'll see what they do here.
Bunch, trips formation to the left side. Smith looking, fires, man is there. Did he get a foot down? He did not, he was out. Connor Miller, excuse me, is that Connor? Yes, it is. Connor Miller, 26, made the catch. Did not get the foot down. We have a man down, but we are going to go down to the 3rd member of our crew, Makini Manu, for a sideline report here as we are under 5 minutes to play. Dixie State leading 28-23. Makini Manu, sideline report.
Dixie State offense on getting that touchdown right now. It was awesome. It was a great job by blocking by the offensive line. They really opened up those holes for those running backs to get down, and great job for those receivers on getting open and being able to be good targets for the quarterback.
Thank you, Makini. Appreciate it. Dixie State. There's the touchdown from Lawrence Starks. Dixie State leading 28-23. Normally wouldn't take a timeout, but we are going to with the injury. 4:31 to go. Let's take a 30-second timeout. Come right back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the Trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West, set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet.
Back inside the booth at Trailblazer Stadium, Dixie State leading 28-23. Two-point conversion attempt was no good. New Mexico Highlands player still down injured. And said it once, I'll say it 100 times. I hate injuries. I don't care which team it is. I think it looks like Joseph Gutierrez, defensive lineman for New Mexico Highlands. We hope he's okay. Head coach Marty Fine is out onto the field now. You know, things maybe you're looking a little bit more serious when the head coach makes his way out to check on the player. I hope he's okay. I hate seeing injuries. I don't care what color jersey you are wearing. Drayson back to the drive. Dixie State goes 9 plays, 59 yards for the score, converting on 4th down twice.
Yeah, it was a tremendous drive, Carrick. It's one of, if not the best drive so far of the game, and it came at a very key moment in the game, going up 28-23. We saw a lot on that drive, Carrick, mostly through the air on 2 crucial pass plays on 4th down. If the Trailblazers can continue to beat the Cowboys defense through the air, that is great because it will also then set up the Dixie State offense as far as the run game. Luongo has had a great game up to this point. He's approaching that 100-yard mark. We'll see if he gets there, but if they can continue to execute through the air, it will open up the ground game for Luongo and Lawrence Starks, who also chipped in a bunch on that previous drive as well. That is a good sign for the Dixie State offense. Their defense has played well as of now. 4.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Not allowed a touchdown or any points on the board this half.
Squibb kick again, fielded at the 15-yard line. Little momentum behind the returner. He's hit, breaks away, still on his feet, and then is brought down near the 30-yard line. That is where New Mexico Highlands will start. That'll be their best field position of the half. And now another player down. He's helped up and he'll hobble off. That's TJ Jackson, who I think was the returner on the play. Highlands will start at its own 30-yard line. Dixie State has owned the third quarter. We're not in the fourth quarter yet. Scoring 2 touchdowns. They lead it 28-23 with 4:22 to go in the third. It was a turnover on the opening kickoff of the second half. Fumbled 2 plays later, Dixie State scores. We talked about needing big plays. You get that, you score 2 plays later. The long pass, Dixie State's making big plays here in the second half.
And 13 unanswered points to begin the half, Carrick.
Cameron under center. Will drop back, fire. Man is there, tipped, incomplete. Highlands receiver going to stay there. He seems to be shaken up on the play. Couple different Dixie State defenders in the air. Was that Alex Lilliard dropping? Darren Jones.
Darren Jones dropping in coverage.
Thank you.
Kind of a back foot throw by Danny Cameron, and Darren Jones just goes up there, forces the miss. As we still have a Cowboys, the wide receiver still down on the field. Can't get a number quite yet. He's laying on his stomach.
There he goes. At least, okay, a little bit of movement at least. I was getting nervous because I hadn't seen him move to this point.
That's
Zach Drutolz. He's been shaken up a number of times tonight, and just hope he's okay. He must have something that he's fighting through already and trying to gut and play through it. Big credit to him. Hope he's okay. 4:16 to go. Dixie State up 28-23. Let's take the 30-second injury timeout. Hustle right back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
Hey, I ordered a large veggie with garlic herb crust.
Veggie? I thought you were more of a meat eater's man.
Oh, I am, but now I can do both. Look, flavor patch.
How does that work? What happens when that's gone?
I've got Howie bread strapped to my legs.
Flavor fanatics love us because we make our dough fresh daily and have meal deals for any budget.
Hungry?
Howie's! Flavor fanatics welcome.
Number 7,
4:16 to go in the third. Dixie State leading 28-23. Quick RMAC at a glance. RMAC update for you. This one is of note because this will be the team that is at. We'll give you that update here in just a minute. We're about underway here again in the third quarter. Second down and 10. Cameron Steps back to pass, fires, catches made right at the sticks, and DJ McFadden is forced out of bounds. Good play, just kind of a 8-yard and out to the sticks, and McFadden makes the catch.
Yep, just a quick out route, just right there. McFadden knows exactly where the line to gain is, goes right there, makes a quick out route, and Danny Cameron finds him with the ball right on the money for the first down.
South Dakota Mines in a non-conference contest leading Simon Frazier, former Dixie State opponent when it played in the GNAC. 52-21 late in the fourth. South Dakota Mines will be here next week. Cameron fires, passes complete. McFadden again makes a man miss, and he's got first down yardage. Only a 5-yard pass, but he goes for another 6, and the sticks will move. You see New Mexico Highlands adjusting to the adjustments that Dixie State has made to the ground game.
Just a sit-down route from McFadden, finds a pocket in the Dixie State zone. Defense just goes and finds an open spot, sits down, plants, makes himself available, makes himself a big target. Danny Cameron finds him for the first down yardage.
Use some more RMAC scores for you here. First down and 10 for New Mexico Highlands at the Dixie State 49. Most of these games were all noon or 1 o'clock kicks, so they've been over for quite some time. Chadron State a 31-21 win over Fort Lewis. We'll give you more in a minute. Delayed handoff, Alston around the right end, and he's bottled up still. Dixie State has adjusted to Alston with the running game.
Yeah, the Trailblazers are saying at this point, we'll give you some yards through the air. We will not let Alston beat us. You see, he keeps trying to bounce it outside, waiting patiently. The Dixie State defense keeps forcing him to that boundary on the sideline, and Trayvon Watson comes in there late to force him out of bounds for no gain.
Other updates for you, and this was the big one. It was the marquee matchup in the RMAC this week, and in fact in the nation even. Colorado Mines receiving votes, defeating top 10 CSU Pueblo 35-21 in Golden. On second down, play action, Cameron firing up to the sideline, incomplete, but a flag sitting in the middle of the field, and where that's sitting right on the line of scrimmage is that holding. Could be.
Yeah, came in from a weird position. Came in from the back referee.
Number 44, number 77, offense.
So Jason Aguirre and Tarini Tosi combined to kind of go down low for the one high, one low for the chop block.
Yeah, you saw it there on the right side of your screen. Again, a chop block is you cannot take out the legs of a defensive player
engaged.
If he's already engaged with an offensive blocker. That's what constitutes a chop block. It's a 15-yard penalty. Will take the Cowboys back to the 37-yard line. Second down and a long ways to go.
Another injured Cowboy on the field. I mean, it was a warm St. George day, and perhaps not too hot now, but the heat and the long trip maybe starting to get to the Cowboys. Let's step away and let's take another injury timeout. 3:01 to go in the third. Dixie State 28, New Mexico Highlands 23. 30-second timeout and back on the Trailblazer Football Network. .301 to play in the third quarter. Injured player is helped off the field. Dixie State. Mexico Highlands. Cowboys have second down and 22 from their own 37 after the chop block penalty. Cameron, one of the few times with the shotgun blitz comes. He has to just get rid of it, and it is in or no, it's dropped. Incomplete pass. An opportunity for an interception. Boy, they don't come much better than that. A great blitz from the right end. That's Kyle Murray, defensive end, getting in there. And is that JT Anderson? They had an opportunity at the interception. Fell through his arms. He's going to want that one back.
Yeah, Kyle Murray comes unblocked to smoke quarterback Danny Cameron. Unfortunately, unable to come up with the interception on the other end of the play.
They're down at 22. 2:56 to go in the third. Cameron in the shotgun. Pressure comes, has to just get rid of it. Dumps it to the other side. Catch is made. Room to run, and he may go for the first down. He will across the 40. Down to the 30, and a breakdown in coverage. Highlands converts on 3rd down and 22.
Is Diego Elibario. Dixie State brings the house here, avoids one tackle, throws back across the end of his body to the weak side of the field, and Diego Elibario there with all kinds of room to run, and the Trailblazers give up a 3rd and 22 situation.
You gotta be kidding me.
That's one of those plays, Carrick, that could switch the momentum a little bit.
Yes, 2:43 to go. Kind of comes back to that dropped interception now. Delayed handoff. Alston started inside, kicks it back outside. He's hit at the 30 and wrestled to the ground at the 27-yard line. He'll pick up 3 yards on the play. 2nd down and 7. Clock rolling.
Yeah, you'll see
And
he
timeout.
Just kind of keeps bouncing it here to the outside. First man there is Abraham Reinhardt. We mentioned him in the halftime halftime show. He makes the tackle in there and exit with an injury.
Now a flag dropped. Referee, I think they were going to call the penalty against Mexico Highlands.
There's no foul on the play. New Mexico Highlands called timeout.
Mexico Highlands will take a timeout. 2:08 to go here in the 3rd. Dixie State leading. This quarter has taken a long time. Trailblazers lead it 28-23. We'll keep it right here. We've had a few injury timeouts, so we do keep it right here. The Trailblazers trying to stay in this one. Back to the RMAC schedule. 2 more scores to give you. This one shocked me a little bit. Colorado Mesa with the win, but just 24-20 over Western State in Gunnison. Colorado Mesa had a shootout with South Dakota Mines week 1 that they scored in the last couple of minutes to win that game. A down to the wire game with Western State today. And who knows, maybe some things to exploit there. Dixie State doesn't have to worry about Mesa until October 27th. Black Hills State falling at Adams State 44-41, and we are all updated on your RMAC schedule. Of course, South Dakota Mines has gone final with Simon Frazier. They win it 52-28. They'll be here next week. Cameron on 2nd and 7, loads up, fires for the end zone. Man there, and catch not made. Great defense in the left corner of the end zone, trying to get a number on that defender, JT Anderson. And I'm going to try to make up for that dropped interception.
Yeah, good play here by Anderson. Stays right with the receiver. As you see here, Cameron lobs it up, kind of just a fade pass into the back of the end zone. Anderson does a good job, keeps his hands off the receiver, gets his head turned around. A good defensive play there by Anderson.
When he stays with the play, too, as soon as the ball is touched by the receiver, he's fair game. So the receiver touches it, and then he gets both hands in the back to push him down and say, you're not catching it off the tip either.
And we've got another 3rd down, Carrick. See if the Trailblazers defense can make up for that 3rd and 22 they gave up earlier in the drive.
2:02 to go. Now whistles and a timeout taken. Both teams have spent 2 timeouts in the 3rd quarter. 2:02 to go until the end of the 3rd quarter. The Mexico Highlands wants to make sure they have the right play call. We'll step away. We'll take this one. 30-second timeout and back with Dixie State leading 28-23.
From surgical suites to patient rooms to conference rooms. In scrubs, suits, or sneakers. With stethoscopes, computer code, or mops. We are all caregivers. Intermountain Healthcare. Healing for life.
.202 to play. I want to thank some of our great sponsors, Intermountain Healthcare, you just saw for you TV viewers, the ad on the TV. We appreciate all they do. Camping World, Catering Concepts, and Lonnie Boy's Barbecue. Cameron, pressure comes on third down, fires to the outside, overthrown, incomplete. The pressure gets to Cameron this time. He doesn't have time to make the throw. It'll be a fourth down situation. And it looks like the offense may stay on the field.
And it was Wes Moai forcing the hasty pass by Cameron, unable to connect with wideout Jerian Manning. It looks like the Cowboys, however, will go for it here on fourth down and about 7 yards to gain.
5-point game late in the third quarter. You're looking at what would be a 44-yard field goal right now. So they're going to go for it. Play of the game so far. 4th down and 7. Cameron, pressure comes, steps up, fires, passes, caught, and he's brought down. Uh-oh, flag flies right by the quarterback. Flag flies right by the quarterback. This cannot be roughing the passer. Of course, I know in today's game, you're not really allowed to do much to the quarterback. And I shouldn't make myself look like a fool too much before I see the replay.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 52, half the distance goal, first down.
We're going to see the replay here and see if that has much merit to it. Reinhardt, well, yes, yep, Tyler Heaton. Tyler Heaton was engaged already, but had the opportunity to let go.
Yep.
And that's what everyone was fine. And then Tyler Heaton, at the end of that play, it's unfortunate, but it's the right call. We're going to see it again. Right here, he's got him. He can let go. He comes to the ground and then throws him down. Absolutely the right call. And another personal foul kills Dixie State. Cameron, pump fake, pressure comes, gets through Remington Kelly. He'll be brought down by another, though. Whistles blow, play ends, 3-yard loss for New Mexico Highlands.
Yeah, Remington Kelly got there first. We'll have to wait till the replay. Looked like it might have been Anthony Yarbrough who actually brought him down. You see on the left side of your screen, Remington Kelly gets him, holds him up a little bit, and it is Yarbrough who was knocked down on the play, gets back to his feet, doesn't give up on the play, able to bring down Cameron for the loss.
They'll call it officially a loss of 5. 1:04 to go. We are under a minute to go finally in this third quarter. I feel like it should be almost the end of the game. I think we're only 2 hours and 20 minutes into this thing. That's about right. 2nd down and 14. Cameron gives to Alston. Big hole up the middle, and he stopped. 3-yard gain.
Yeah, that's JT Anderson coming up, play right up the gut. Dion Alston goes right behind the center. JT Anderson closes quick, though, to limit the damage. You see he comes down there, makes a good tackle, gets his center of gravity low, and brings down Alston there at the 15-yard line.
20 seconds to go. They will have to snap the ball. Play clock at 13, game clock at 15. 3rd down and 11. Line to gain is the 4-yard line. Snap it. Pressure comes, floats, catch is made, but the stop is made short of the sticks. He's knocked out of bounds with 2.7 seconds remaining. And now they're going to send the field goal unit out onto the field.
Yeah, but a good play here from Cameron to make things happen. He's flushed out of the pocket. You'll see here, gets some pressure from the backside, is flushed out of the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, and is able to connect with David McGee down there. Comes up just short of the line to gain, but they will have a chance to put in a field goal.
But they'll have to think about it. And it'll give the the New Mexico Highlands coaches time to think about it as well. Do they want to try to kick the field goal, or do they want to try to go for it? 4th down and 6. Dixie State leading 28-23. At this point, let's just take a 30-second timeout, just a 30, and come right back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
There is a place where the sun doesn't hide in the winter, where the greens stay green and the crimson canyons still glow. There is a place where dimples determine destiny, and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where we drive for show, putt for dough, and settle the score with another round. there is a place.
Let's hear it for your Dixie State cheer team.
Welcome back inside Trailblazer Stadium. Dixie State leading 28-23. However, 27-yard field goal attempt. From the right hash for Israel Farfan. He hit the post on one earlier. Snap is there. It's blocked! The field goal is blocked. Dixie State will maintain the 5-point lead. Flags fly after the play. Shiloh Pritchard's helmet is on the ground. Things getting a little chippy, but Dixie State getting the block. Let's take a look at the replay, especially if we can see the ultra replay as well. We'll see if we can see it here.
It was Elijah Austin. It looks like he got his hand on it, or was it Remington Kelly? Remington Kelly gets his hands on it and is able to block the punt. Dixie State recovers.
So we can see that one more time, especially if you have the close-up, because I think Austin missed it. We see the extracurriculars there. We wait for the penalty call. Let's look at that one more time just to make sure. Austin missed it to Remington Kelly.
Yeah, Remington Kelly gets in there. You see, blocks the punt. Third blocked field goal attempt we've seen on the game. And then Dixie State recovers right there and is marked down there. That may be where the personal foul comes in to play. Referees are sorting it out right now, trying to figure out who's at fault. Yellow hankies are all over the field. It'll be interesting to see what this is called on. Saw some extracurricular kind of activities there.
Let's see if we can run that one more time, guys in the truck, trying to determine who recovered the ball and where the ball was recovered. You see the ball loose right there on the ground, and the recovery, it's Mike Jones recovering it right at the 11.
Number 2, defense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
And they call a penalty against Shiloh Pritchard after. You know, a couple of years ago, when Dixie State's first season in the RMAC, Dixie State committed a lot of personal fouls, and it seemed like it kept adding up over the season. It almost felt like maybe a reputation was there. See, Pritchard's helmet is off. He goes in, he hits him late.
Okay, so
I see it.
Yeah, that's where the penalty comes in.
But how does his helmet come off?
I don't understand.
If someone's ripping his helmet off, it's got to be a double personal foul. And you can't just single out one player.
And sometimes that's how it happens, Carrick, is the retaliation is sometimes the one that gets called. But the rule is that you cannot engage in the play after your helmet has come off. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. It's made for player safety. I don't like that the play goes only against Dixie State. Obviously, there was a few other extracurricular activities.
Yep.
That must have been what they were sorting out, the referees were. It goes against Dixie State, but let's not forget the positive where they just blocked a kick and everything should be okay. They'll take over 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line.
Now, they said half the distance. Did they mark it off? Because that's right where the ball was recovered.
Maybe it was half the distance from the line of scrimmage
the original
of the Cowboys.
Could be.
Perhaps.
Either way, Dixie State has the ball. We're finally back in play. 14:51 to go. Hand off to C.J. Luongo up the middle, and he looked like he was stopped. He escapes through a hole, and he will go. Oh, they're bringing that back a couple yards. Now they're going to place it down at the 15.
Yeah,
4-yard gain.
Luongo just keeps churning, able to kind of spin out of a would-be tackler there. Keeps his legs moving. Picks up about 4 yards on the carry. Give him 5.
Clock rolling. 14:20. This is where if you can get the ground game going, you churn some clock off and you can punch one in, you're in good shape. Smith. Delayed handoff. Starks. He goes nowhere. No gain. It'll be 3rd and 5. One thing you can't do is go 3 and out. You got to figure out a way to move the chains.
Yeah, especially from this point of the field, Carrick, inside your own 20, barring an incredible long punt to change the field positioning. You got to get something going here. That play was kind of dead from to begin with. No room to run for Lawrence Starks.
They're down to 15. 2 receivers to either side. Luongo motioning out to the right. Smith flushed out of the pocket. Has to get rid of it. It's incomplete. I'm going to say he was outside of the pocket, so no flag. There was not an eligible receiver in the area, but he's outside of the pocket. It looked like he might have been slammed to the ground a little late, too. But nothing doing.
Yeah, good play here from Easton just to avoid the sack. Cannot take a sack in this situation. He gets out, has to throw it with his offhand, his left hand. Fortunately, no intentional grounding, but a good play just to get that to an incomplete pass instead of a sack.
Dangerous spot here. Carlson is standing at his own 2-yard line. Elabaria. Great punt. Carlson. And it will take a Dixie State bounce out of bounds. Where do they mark it? At the 25-yard line. What a punt by Josh Carlson. He had an 81-yard punt, a school record at CSU Pueblo week 1. Had to have a good punt there, and he flips the field.
Yeah, great punt. This is exactly what Dixie State ordered. Give him about a 70, 80-yard punt there, pretty close to a 70-yard punt, and able to flip field positioning, just what Dixie State needed after the 3-and-out.
13:28 to play. New Mexico Highlands goes from trying to block a punt in the end zone to starting just like it was a touchback. Cameron under center. Hands off to Alston, waiting for his hole to open. Finds one. Some hits after the play. And things getting chippy. Things getting chippy. Now this is one that if it does not go both ways, a team, whoever gets a penalty call against them, has every right to be frustrated. There's no way it only goes against Dixie State. Ref did not turn his mic on. That is unbelievable. And they're going to throw him out of the game for hitting. That is unbelievable because the New Mexico Highlands player did the same thing right before it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, this is just bad, Carrick. I mean, this game has gotten out of hands of the referees. This is just bad. You'll see after the play is over. Look here to the left side of your screen, the action going on. 44.
It's right there. They're hitting each other.
44 pushes the Dixie State player. The Dixie State player retaliates, and only the penalty.
They both hit. Referee's mic did not come on.
That's 44, Jason Aguirre engaged.
And once again, it's the last player that does anything that happens, but Aguirre baits him and baits him and baits him and hits him, and the referee only sees that. And it's no doubt a penalty against Abraham Reinhardt. The second week in a row he's been ejected for something. You got to keep your cool, but that's got to go both ways. First down run goes to Alston. He's still chugging. And are they ever going to blow this play dead? Goodness gracious.
Yeah, good.
It's going to go for a 13-yard gain. This is something, you got an injured Dixie State player down. It's Mike Jones. This is something that I've been calling for years in football. Why do you let a play like that go on so long? The runner's not doing anything. It's all the offensive linemen. Pulling people, pulling the pile. All you're doing is risking a serious injury, and now one of Dixie State's best defenders is hurt because of a play that is allowed to continue. The running back's not doing anything. The running back's feet are off the ground, and the offensive linemen are carrying him. That should not be allowed.
Yeah, I mean,
and now you have one of Dixie State's best defenders hurt.
As the rule states, Carrick.
I know, I get the rule, but I think it's stupid.
I agree, Carrick. I mean, in that situation, I mean, by the letter of the law, that should be right. That should be how the play was. But I don't agree with the rule either. You called it correctly. I mean, the running back's feet were completely off the ground. He was just being carried down
for
the
10
hill
yards.
For
not 10 yards,
but about 7 or 8 yards there. So you'll see it here. Watch Alston's feet about halfway through this play actually come off the ground. You see him
off the ground right there.
Off the ground, and he's just being picked up. You see being picked up.
Deion Alston's 5'8". He's 2 heads above everybody for the last 3 or 4 yards of that run.
Yeah, I mean, just an unbelievable series of events here for the Trailblazers.
And now you've got one of Dixie State's best defenders down. I get that that is the rule. There's obviously no rule against that, but it's dumb. Something like that needs to be changed. 5'8" guy, and he's 7 feet off. It looks like he's 7-footer. All of a sudden, he's not doing anything. That's all the offensive line.
Especially when you get 10 to 12 to 15 players there, just all trying to manipulate the pile. I mean, look, you see here. We'll see the replay one more time. At the end of this play, there's 12 to 15 just players pushing the pile, both offense and defense. You get one of those players to fall on your leg. That's all it takes to have a serious injury.
But I'd say it the other way too. And I'm sure I sound like a Dixie State homer. I'm getting a little excited here, but I agree the other way. I mean, yeah, the play's still moving, so I guess how do you blow it dead? But it was the other way around. If Dixie State was benefiting from that as well, I mean, the running back's feet are on the ground, so I don't know. I'll stop there because I'm sure I sound like an idiot. But 12:58 to go in the fourth. Dixie State leading 28-23. New Mexico Highlands into Dixie State territory down to the 46-yard line. A drive that has seen personal foul for a punch thrown against Abraham Reihart. He was tossed. Been a couple costly penalties against Dixie State in this game. Pressure comes Cameron, and he is going to overthrow DJ McFadden by 10 yards. Felt the pressure coming and thought, hey, maybe my guy has a beat on it. Just chucked it up. McFadden couldn't get to it.
Yeah, McFadden just running a seam route down the field. Like you said, pressure felt by Cameron. Just lobs one up there, but well over the head of McFadden.
12:45 to go in the fourth quarter. Dixie State clinging to a 28-23 lead. And the penalty bug has come back to bite Dixie State for the second week in a row. Alston finally finds a hole for the first time this half, and he'll go for the 11 yards necessary for a first down, and the chains will move.
Yeah, good run here by Alston. This is the first good run he's had in the second half. Dixie State's limited him to just this far, limited pretty well thus far in the second half, able to get a little bit of space and pick up the first down.
Fortunately for Dixie State, Mike Jones is back into the game, so whatever happened to him was just minor. He's able to continue here. First down and 10 at the Dixie State 34-yard line. A turnover right here would be just what the doctor ordered for Dixie State. Cameron handing off to Alston, and he's stacked up. And the play blown dead. Loss of 1 or maybe no gain on the play. Second down and 10 forthcoming.
Yeah, the Trailblazer defense just coming down, crashing down onto the right side of the line. Standing up Alston right there at the line of scrimmage. Maybe just a 1-yard loss. Give him a 1-yard loss on the play. Good play from the Trailblazers defense. You see here, that's Kyle Murray getting in there, as well as number 44, that's Jordan Nichols getting in there as well to make the tackle.
Second down and 11. A couple of big plays coming up. Play action. Cameron rolling out. He's going down. DeMartini gets to him first. Remington Kelly helps him out. Big loss. Sebastian DeMartini getting the sack.
Yeah, a great push from DeMartini here. Just bull rushes the offensive lineman, wraps up Cameron in the backfield, gets some help late in the down from Remington Kelly. You see here, Sebastian DeMartini just pushes over the offensive lineman, Ron Beasley, and him and Remington Kelly able to bring him down well beyond the line of scrimmage.
They blow the progress dead at the 45. To me, what's different about that than the running back being carried 10 yards? Why can't the defender pick him up and bring him back 10 yards? Delayed handoff, Alston around the right end. Flag comes in, it's holding. Doesn't matter what happens at the end of this play, it's coming back. Alston out of bounds down near the 40-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to get Joseph Gutierrez, I believe, on this one, on holding.
Now an interesting decision, because he picked up about 4 yards. You have 4th and 6, but it's no man's land. Highlands could probably go for it.
4th and 16, Carrick.
if they take the penalty. Oh, goodness gracious.
Right, so if they decline the penalty, it'll be 4th and 16.
Goodness gracious. Thanks for showing me how to read where the marker is.
Well, the sack brought him well behind
Yes.
the line of scrimmage. You see the flag come in there. Sorry, that's 86. I gave you the wrong number there. That's 86 on the holding call. That's Daryl McIntyre.
They declined the penalty to get the 4th down and a punt forthcoming.
So, hey, I mean, worst case scenario for the Trailblazers on several occasions there on that drive, but able to force a punt, able to bend and not break in certain aspects, and let's get the offense back on the field, see what they can do late in this ball game.
Rodriguez gets the punt away, and it will fall and roll and go out of bounds right about the 5-yard line. Dixie State will have a 95-yard field with 10:15 to go in the 4th. Dixie State, you're the Trailblazers, you got to move the chains a time or two on this drive. Burn some clock. Still a ton of time left in this game. It's only a 1-possession game. You got to give your defense some rest.
Yeah, they got to be able to do that and get the defense off the field. The defense has been on the field almost this entire 4th quarter. Dixie State started out the drive with a 3-and-out. That took just under 30 seconds or so to begin the 4th quarter, and the defense has been on the field ever since. The Dixie State offense has to get a good drive here. They don't necessarily have to score. Obviously, that would be ideal. That would be the best case scenario, but you got to at least get some yardage here, flip the field, worst case scenario.
1st down and 10 for Dixie State. Sejay Luongo in the backfield with Easton Smith. 2 receivers to either side. They'll go to Sejay. Up the middle, feeling his way through. Breaks a tackle. Still on his feet and tripped up. 1 man to beat. Tripped up. Gets out to the 35-yard line. The 25-yard line. 20-yard pickup for Sejay Luongo.
21-yard gain.
Yeah, this was a great play by Luongo, able to get through the line, shake and bake, make a few defenders miss. CJ Waite was the first to bring him down, along with another player who is on the field right now. An injury timeout we'll have to take.
Keep it right here for just a moment and give you this number. Sejay Luongo with that carry has gone over the 100-yard mark. We get another look at it there. He evaded a couple of guys, got past there, 1 man to beat, and he just gets the fingertips on him. Otherwise, Sejay is gone. And he knows it too. Sejay, 20 carries, 113 yards, and a touchdown. Let's play a little trivia game here. How many games has it been, Drayson, since Dixie State has had a 100-yard rusher? As the injured player is helped off the field, and that is TJ Jackson.
I'm going to say, I feel like I remember this game last season. I want to say it was week 4 of last season. So I'm going to go 8 games.
4 games ago. Sejay Luongo was one of those. Sejay Luongo went for 187 yards. Blake Barney, not playing football this year, 146 yards against Adams State on homecoming, October 28, 2017. 1st down snap to Smith, swinging it to the near side. Giovanni Sanders bobbles, regains, turns around, gets the sideline, and is brought down, pickup of 9 yards. They're going to spot him 1 yard shy of the marker. It'll be 2nd and 1. Giovanni Sanders, a freshman, danced around for a couple of seconds back there.
Yeah, just a little bubble screen out here. Bobbled it initially. He was able to recover, dancing around, able to dance his way to about 3 or 4 more yards before being brought down from behind by Cameron Forziati.
The problem was his dancing was east and west dancing instead of north and south there for a minute, but still 2nd and 1. Snap to Smith. He'll give to the running back. I believe that's Luongo still. It might be Starks, though. They look alike. And that's Sejay.
Yep, Sejay gets a good push from his offensive line. Picks up about 4 yards. Good enough for Dixie State. 1st down.
9:23 to go.
Got a key block there from Dixie State offensive lineman Brandon Turner, the left guard. Pulled and led the block up to the right side of the right tackle and able to get the 1st down for the Trailblazers.
Snap. Delayed handoff, Sejay. Room up the middle, cutting back left. And a good tackle, and he's slammed to the turf after a pickup of just 1 yard. Can be deceiving sometimes because they hand the ball off so deep in the backfield. He gets only 1 yard on the play. Sejay now 23 carries, 139 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, great open field tackle here by C.J. Yates. Look at him. Keep a beat on Luongo. Doesn't get fooled by the juke move. Able to bring him down right there at the 40.
Textbook open field tackle. Right there. Never did get to the series history between these two teams. Third all-time meeting between Dixie State and New Mexico Highlands. High snap. Handoff up the middle. Goes nowhere, no gain, and that's AJ again. Trailblazers won the first meeting between these two teams in 2016 season opener, 21-14 right here on this field. You remember that was the Sage Luongo was a freshman. I remember this play, the halfback pass to Dewan Dantzler for a touchdown. That was the go-ahead and the winning touchdown to win 21-14. Last year, the Trailblazers, I know they feel like they've got some unfinished business tonight because they gave up a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter last year in Las Vegas, New Mexico, lost 23-22. And I was on that trip. I guarantee you that was a long bus ride back. 7:40 and ticking here in the fourth. Smith fires across the middle. Catch is made. Where are they going to spot him on the forward progress? They're going to give him the first down yardage. Needed 9, got 10 to the 15. Great catch by Dewan Dantzler. He's had a couple of timely catches tonight.
Great game for Dewan Dantzler so far. You see he runs just a quick in route, a little 5-yard slant, gets right to the yard to gain, throws just a little bit behind him, able to bring it in at the 50, good enough for the first down yardage.
Dewan Dantzler making that catch. And Dantzler now 4 catches for 83 yards. There's another trivia you could play. When was the last time a Dixie State receiver had a 100-yard receiving game? Smith. Hands off, and that goes nowhere. Looked like a little bit of a broken play. You had, I think it was Xavier Smith coming in motion from right to left, and he actually came in front of Easton Smith, which happens sometimes. But Smith almost acted like he wasn't expecting to go in front.
Yeah, fortunate for the Trailblazers not to fumble that ball or get it knocked off by the man in motion. Lawrence Starks is the ball carrier. Gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Last time Dixie State had a 100-yard receiver in a game was last year, just 5 games ago. Orlando Wallace, 120 yards receiving at Colorado Mines on October 21st. Dantzler just needs 13 more receiving yards to get to 100 tonight. Smith across the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Dewan Dantzler. Flag thrown on the far sideline, right at the line of scrimmage.
Going to be interesting to see
offsides,
what this
free play. They might be pointing Dixie State's way, and you got Coach Fine. He's having trouble. I think it was illegal motion. Illegal shift. The referee Cecil Harrison having some trouble with the crowd with the mic down there. We're not getting anything from him.
Tough to tell on that replay. Flag thrown immediately by the line judge. Tough to tell what exactly it was, but it'll be 3rd down and 10 for the Trailblazers.
Yeah, this is big here. Still 6:15 remaining. Empty backfield. Smith, design quarterback keeper. Goodness gracious. He goes nowhere. He's absolutely sandwiched. I hope he's okay. No gain. Broken play. That looked like that play was almost called to go right up the middle.
Yeah,
and he started going right, and he's a little shaken up coming up. He got destroyed. Sandwiched.
Yeah, whole host of Cowboys making the play. You see kind of just nowhere to go, really. A couple guys.
Ooh. That could be a head-to-head on a defenseless runner.
Yeah.
And he's feeling it. Boy, oh boy, they might want to send that one in. We saw that same play almost go against Dixie State last week. Carlson will angle this one. It's going to go too deep into the end zone. Touchback. We'll see it again right here. Comes in. It's helmet to helmet. And against the quarterback especially, he's lucky. That play went against, although it was in a roughing the passer play, so it was more obvious, but that exact play went against Dixie State last week. As it stands, if you're a Dixie State fan, you're on the edge of your seat. because there's only 5:22 remaining, and you've got just a 5-point lead with 28-23.
And let's not forget, Carrick, that 2-point conversion that Dixie State failed to convert earlier in the game would have made it a 7-point lead here. That they don't convert on that 2-point conversion. It's just a 5-point lead where now a touchdown could put the Cowboys in front. Really big time for the Dixie State defense to stand up here. It'd be great to force a 3-and-out.
Long discussion going. Not sure about what.
Trailblazers defense has done a good job, Carrick, to this point, not limiting any points on the board for the Cowboys. We'll see if they can do it here.
We'll come down to the defense. First down, Cameron loading up, fires across the middle. Oh, catch is made to the 40 and brought down just shy of the 50. Devin Henderson. What a catch. And he goes out near the 50.
Yeah, Cameron gets the ball off just in time here, getting some pressure from his backside. Throws the ball a little bit behind the receiver, but able to bring it in. Big chunky yards for the Cowboys.
Cowboys going quick. Pass completed near side to McFadden, and he'll pick up a good chunk. Call it 6 yards on the play. 2nd down and 4 into Dixie State territory. They're going to go hurry up. They're not going to let this Dixie State defense get set.
Yeah, just a little flat route out there in the flat.
And they'll throw the same thing incomplete. They say it one hop to DJ McFadden on the far side. Same type of a play, but McFadden had to try to go down and get that. Now it's 3rd down and 5. This is a big 3rd down. 4:45 to go. I think there's still a little too much time on the clock for New Mexico Highlands to go for it if Dixie State gets this stop.
Don't forget, Carrick, both teams right now have just one timeout remaining. That could come in big down the stretch.
Cameron rolls out to his left, path cut off, fires, and it's complete. And the receiver makes the man miss. Elibario is stood up across the 40 to the 35-yard line. What a route. Kind of the old button hook.
Yeah, just a little comeback route. You see Elibario there on the right side of your screen, just gets right past the yard to gain, turns around, makes himself available, makes one guy miss, able to get about 5 or 6 extra yards after the play before being wrapped up.
Play run to perfection. Cameron loads up, fires across the middle, intercepted! Trayvon Watson has picked it off. Dixie State's got it back. His first pick of the season. Danny Cameron felt the pressure. And a questionable pass across the middle. Trayvon Watson able to make the break on it. He gets the interception.
What a play by the senior from Los Angeles, California, Carrick. We've talked the whole game about turnovers. Dixie State has not turned the ball over yet, and they force now a 2nd turnover. Oh, what a great play by Watson. As you see, just jumps the receiver. What a tremendous play from the safety, Trayvon Watson. Read this route perfectly. You'll see it here on replay. Watson just able to jump the receiver, cut off his route, and this is perfectly executed by Watson, and it gives Dixie State a 1st down inside their own 20.
Trayvon Watson, defensive play of the game so far, and Dixie State has got it back. With 4:20 to play, New Mexico Highlands with just one timeout. You need a couple of 1st downs here. Smith, give to Luongo, feeling his way. Bounces off a couple of tackles up the middle and is driven back. Some extracurriculars after the play. Downfield. And if you're Dixie State, as Luongo goes for 4 yards, 2nd and 6. If you're Dixie State coach, you're telling your guys, I want you to be fierce out there. If someone tries to engage you after the play, you walk away. You can't afford any more personal fouls after the play.
Yep, not at this point of the game, Carrick. You just got a big turnover. You don't want to give the ball right back to him with enough time to score and take the lead in this game.
Smith calls for a man in motion. Tight end moves from right to left. Snap to Smith. Leaves it with Luongo around the left end. Bangs through a defender and gets down near the 25. They mark him at the 24. 4 more yards. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
If you want to circle
a big 3rd down.
If you want to circle a player on your stat sheet, Carrick, it's got to be C.J. Luongo. How many times have we looked up, Carrick, and said another 3 or 4 yards for Luongo? He has been big in this game, as you see, following right behind his offensive lineman there, Nathan Aceves, pulling from the right side of the line. Another 4 yards for Luongo. Big pickup.
Big 3rd down. Got to have these 2 yards. Luongo, 26 carries, 147 yards, and a score. Snap to Smith. He'll roll out to his right. Fires. Catch is made by Say at the sticks. First down. Second catch of the game by Say Luongo. Or excuse me, that's Brad Duran. Sorry, Brad. Brad Duran with the catch. Oh, I thought I saw Say motion out to the right and make the catch.
Excellent play here, Carrick. You see Dwan Dantzler at the top of your screen. Just kind of use almost a pick play, just a clear out.
Yes.
He clears into the middle, kind of causing some traffic there. Brad Duran just floats out into the flat, picks up enough yards for the first down.
His fourth catch of the night. Now just 2:30 remaining. New Mexico Highlands with just one timeout. Hand off to Say. Breaks a tackle. 40-yard line. 45, still on his feet. Brought down just shy of the 50.
And Carrick, that might just about do it. Not quite to a point where we can ice the game, but that's a huge play by Say Luongo. Able to get up the middle, make a few defenders miss. Still chugging his feet. Look at that. Keeps going. Spins. Just making guys bounce off of him, Carrick. That's a huge run at this point in the game.
You know what I love about that run, too? The New Mexico Highlands defender, I don't think it's anything intentional, but just kind of still pushing him, kind of bumping him toward the end of that play. Say pops right up, stands up, just kind of gives a little shove off. I mean, nothing that was, anything egregious, but just kind of saying, hey, I'm here. This is my spot. And get out of my way. Dixie State leading 28-23, 2:17 to go. An injured New Mexico Highlands player back near the Dixie State 25. And he was writhing in pain as soon as this play ended. Hope he's okay. $2:17 to go in the fourth. 28-23, Dixie State on top. Let's take a 30-second injury timeout. Come right back on the Trailblazer Football Network.
I'm Jimmy. This is my definition of fresh since 1983.
$2:17 to go. Dixie State leading 28-23. Injured player is helped off the field. You get another look at that Say Luongo run, and he just never say die. 1, 2, 3. Fourth guy finally gets him.
Yeah, Carrick, I mean, it's been a really great offensive half for the Trailblazer offense. Another great run there by Luongo.
2:03 to go. Dixie State is going to take its time here. We are under 2 minutes remaining. Still 20 seconds on the play clock. Highlands with just the one timeout. New Mexico Highlands has not lost yet this season. And this would be an excellent comeback win. It was, as we wait for the snap now, down to 3. Snap comes. They'll give to Lawrence Starks in for Say. Maybe a nerve-wracking position for a freshman to be in. You go in, you don't want to be the guy that maybe fumbles the ball away, but he's been great so far as well. And the clock will continue to roll. No timeout called. Dixie State trailed by 8 at halftime, Drace, and it's been all Trailblazers in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a tremendous, we got a minute, Carrick, tremendous half, both offensively and defensively for the Trailblazers. Defensively, they've been just tremendous in the second half. Haven't allowed a point yet, Carrick. They've blocked a field goal attempt. They have also limited Alston to just over 50 yards this half after giving up 117 in the first half. It's been a great half for the Trailblazer defense.
On second down, back to Starks. He starts right, cuts back left, and he'll get 1 yard, and a quick timeout taken by New Mexico Highlands with 49 seconds remaining. If you're Dixie State, it's 3rd and 8. Do you agree with the maybe I shouldn't ask it that way, but if you were coaching right now and it's first down, you know that New Mexico Highlands has one timeout left, do you just do a couple of runs, or what do you do on 3rd down here? Do you get a little bit more aggressive?
Well,
I mean, New Mexico Highlands is out of timeouts now, so I guess it's a moot point. I was looking at the wrong one on the other side. But
At this point, Carrick, you've got to run this ball here. You can take 40 seconds off the clock by running it. You're gonna run this play, take about 3 or 4 seconds on a run play. You're gonna let 40 seconds run off the clock. There'll be about 4, 5, 6 seconds remaining. You're gonna call timeout with about 7 seconds remaining. Punt the ball away. You're gonna punt it away from the returner. Make sure he can't return the ball at all. Hopefully pin them down back inside even their own 20 if it's a touchback. That would be fine.
On the punt, if it's me, you just line drive it down the field. You make sure that there's no return. How do you consider that's 9 seconds is a long time to try to have to do that? Do you consider trying to run around trying to get this play going for 9 seconds?
I don't think
you
do.
Risk anything.
I don't think you risk it at that point. Anything could happen. We saw Devin Henderson earlier in the game just fumble out of nothing. I don't think you risk that here.
3rd down, handoff, up the middle, play still going. Down to 43 seconds. Lawrence Starks, you're going to have 3 seconds. They're going to have to punt the ball away.
Yeah, but you're going to see Coach McClure here on the sideline. Looks like if I was Coach McClure, I'd call a timeout here just before
to set it up.
Just before the play clock comes on. It's possible though. It's also possible, Carrick, they just run in the backfield.
Yeah.
Run the clock off and just take a knee. Almost. I mean, you're going to see Easton Smith here. They're going to stay on the field.
Yeah, maybe you don't even bring the punter out. 10 seconds on the game clock, 8 seconds on the play clock. Play clock down to 4, 3, 2, 1. Timeout, Dixie State. With 2.4 seconds remaining, you can just do a long snap, maybe kind of an extended victory formation.
Yeah. Just do a shotgun.
Yeah.
Take 2 or 3 steps back. Make sure that the clock is expired, and then just take a knee.
You don't even mess. You don't even mess with trying to punt this ball away. 2.4 seconds remaining. Dixie State leading at 28-23. Man, what a game. Dixie State has just dominated here in the second half, outscoring Highlands 13-0 in the second. No score here in the fourth, and the Dixie State defense has come up big when they needed it in the second half.
You said it, Carrick. I mean, they've come up play after play, even after all the personal fouls, the ejection earlier in the game, all the stuff that's gone wrong for the Trailblazer defense. They have been excellent, Carrick, excellent in this second half. Haven't allowed a point. Like I mentioned, they blocked a field goal attempt that would have brought them within 2, could have changed the game of this one a little bit. They have been excellent in the second half. A lot of credit to them.
As soon as this game's over, we'll see if we can try to get a report from Maki Manu, who is our third crew. Smith in the backfield, gets a block. Play clock at 0. He kneels down. He'll take the big loss. And Dixie State has hung on to win it 28-23. Trailblazers win it here inside Trailblazer Stadium. A comeback victory, and Dixie State wins it 28-23 with a huge second half.
This was a great game, Carrick, from the get-go. The Trailblazers had that bend but don't break mentality from the start of the game. They had a tremendous second half, both offensively and defensively. A lot of key plays, Carrick, led to this gritty win from the Trailblazers.
Let's toss it down to the field. He doesn't have Coach McClure, but let's toss it down to Makini Manu, the third member of our crew, for the sideline report to wrap this thing up.
Great second half by the Dixie State Trailblazers. They really came out really strong in the second half. Good job by the offensive line by controlling that line and giving that time for the quarterback to get his passes off. Great blocking up front, great defensive line. Great game all in all. The defense did outstanding this game, and Trailblazers should be proud by their performance.
Thank you, McKinney, for that report and your work all night long. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get organized to get Coach McClure at halftime or here after the game. That's something we'll try for going forward to do on the broadcast going forward. But Dixie State, all in all, getting the win, 28-23. Let's step away. Let's take a 2-minute timeout. We'll come back. We're going to keep it on the TV and the radio side. So, Martin, stay with us on the radio. 2-minute timeout. We'll come back and wrap things up for Trailblazer Stadium. Dixie State 28, New Mexico Highlands 23. 2-minute timeout.
At Kneaders, we start simple, making bread from scratch with just a handful of ingredients. It's not the easy way, but it's worth it. Honest bread made without shortcuts. When you come to Kneaders, every loaf of bread, every sandwich starts here. Yes, it takes more time, but that's why we get an early start. Stop by today for dine-in, takeout, or drive-through.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this.
I need a one dance.
And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Welcome back inside Trailblazer Stadium. Dixie State winning it 28-23. We welcome you back inside the booth. Believe we're still on radio, 91.3. Martin, if you can hear us, we're going to stick it with Drace and I here at the booth for a few minutes. We'll toss it back to you for some final thoughts. We are on TV, radio, and internet. Trailblazers win it 28-23. Before I forget, before we go any further, I want to thank some of our great Dixie State Athletics sponsors, Catering Concepts, Lonnie Boy's Barbecue, Chick-fil-A, Jimmy John's, Mountain America Credit Union, Camping World, Dats Trucking, Intermountain Healthcare, Campus Dining, and InfoWest. Ton of our great sponsors. Just to name a few, don't have time to rattle them all off. We have some great sponsors here at Dixie State, and we appreciate all that they do and really helping us make these broadcasts possible, everything possible here at Dixie State. The Trailblazers win it 28-23, and this is the post-game wrap. Drayson Ball and I will wrap things up here, give you some final stats, some final thoughts. We'll name a player of the game and a play of the game, and then we take a look at some highlights as well. Drayson, you got the stat sheet there. Why don't you break down some numbers for us, give us some final numbers in this game, both team and individual numbers that jumped out at you.
Yeah, Carrick, here's the difference in the second half. Looking back on the first half, Trailblazers really struggled to contain Dion Alston, Cowboys running back. Allowed 117 yards on the ground for the Cowboy rusher. But in the second half, Carrick limited him to only 53 yards. That's the difference. That's the difference in the game, as well as the Dixie State offensive runner, J. Luongo. 105 yards for Luongo in the second half alone, Carrick. That's where the game turned. That's where the Dixie State offense was able to control the ball, control the time of possession, and just pound the ball. That's where the game turned for me. A couple of interesting stats here, Carrick. Trailblazers actually got outgained tonight.
Yeah.
Outgained tonight. 363 yards for the Trailblazers compared to 393 for the Cowboys. However, the Trailblazers gaining more yards on the ground at 203 yards. That's the difference for me, Carrick. That was one of our keys to the game. You got to control the offensive line. They did that in the second half, both offensively and defensively. Defensive line was able to contain Alston. Offensive line was able to open up big holes for Luongo.
Dixie State, the 28-23 victory to improve to 2-1 this season. You got to go back to 2012. Check that, 2012 to find the last time that Dixie State started 2-1. And they did it the exact same way. Opened the season with a loss to Adams State and then defeated Western Oregon and Azusa Pacific in back-to-back weeks. So Dixie State has matched, and that is the best start in the D2 era. Trailblazers have never started 3-0. They never started 2-0, but 2 times, 2012 and in 2007, have started at 2-1. A win next week against South Dakota Mines, and Dixie State would be off to the best start they've seen in the Division II era. This game was not easy by any stretch of the imagination. As I mentioned in the pregame show, I think a lot of people, when they looked at this game early on and known New Mexico Highlands' record the last few years, they thought, well, it won't be that great of a game. This was an extraordinary football game tonight, and we knew that this was a different New Mexico Highlands team coming in this season. Dixie State fortunately able to hang on for the win here, but they're a resurgent offense. They are getting the job done this year, and they have a legitimate national type player in Dion Alston, who Dixie State was able to figure out, like you said, and bottle up in the second half. But Dixie State said, I'll give you your Dion Alston, and I will one-up you with our Sage Luongo, 27 carries, 168 yards, and a touchdown. Doesn't end up averaging as many yards per carry as Dion Alston, but Sage finally gets that huge game that we were waiting for. Plagued with injury last year off and on, missed the CSU Pueblo game due to an injury, had a pretty good game last week, and now you can see that he's back. He's got his full movement. He's making cuts. He's doing the things that he needs to do in order to get the victory for Dixie State. You mentioned a couple of other guys, but how about Easton Smith? Another great game of Easton Smith. 13 of 25 yards, 13 of 25 through the air for 160 yards and a touchdown, and 2 just on the money deep balls down the field. Both of them led to touchdowns. 1 to Brad Duran, then the deep ball to DeJuan Dantzler, and he gets the job done. Also want to mention DeJuan Dantzler had an amazing game, 4 catches, 83 yards. Didn't get in to the end zone and get rewarded that way, but had an amazing game tonight. Brad Duran, 4 catches, 31 yards. Defensively, you look at Dixie State. Dixie State has yet to have a double-digit tackler in a single game so far this season, and that is because they spread it out so much, and this Dixie State defense spreads to the football. There's no double-digit tacklers. So you look, the leading tacklers, 3 of them all finish with 7 tackles. Mike Jones has 7 tackles, JT Anderson has 7, and Jordan Nichols has 7 as well, and they're able to get the job done. Didn't get to the quarterback as many times as last week, but still, Danny Cameron was not all that comfortable in the backfield on passing plays.
And they did a tremendous job of that in the second half. Carrick was able to get a good push from their defensive line. We saw several plays where Dixie State rushers on defense was able to get in there and cause some disturbances there in the Cowboy backfield. We saw Anthony Yarbo a handful of times, Wes Moai, Sebastian DeMartini, Remington Kelly. We saw a bunch of different guys get in to the Cowboy backfield, forcing pressure throws, early throws quicker than Danny Cameron would have preferred. We also saw him getting in there, blowing up plays in the backfield. That was, for me, the biggest turning point from the first half to the second half is the play from the defensive line in that regard.
Let's take a look at some highlights if we've got them down in the trunk, maybe just second half highlights or highlights for the game. Here was the kickoff in the start of the second half. Henderson just ball just pops out, and you hate when that happens. You just feel really bad, but Dixie State able to recover that, and then 2 plays later, Sage Luongo able to make a man miss, 22 yards for the touchdown, and that's when things got going.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great turn of events there coming out of the half.
Easton Smith swinging it near side. That was a big stop for Mexico Highlands on 3rd down early in the third quarter. Smith had a great game. He had 13 of 25. Here's the play of the day for me right there. DeJuan Dantzler reaching out, stretching out the hands, making the catch. That would set up the touchdown run for Lawrence Starks right here. Cutting it inside. Second effort, getting in for the score, his second collegiate touchdown.
Yeah, great play there. A great offensive play by DeJuan Dantzler. One of the best catches you'll see anywhere. And then the 2-yard rush by Lawrence Starks.
New Mexico Highlands was threatening inside after some Dixie State penalties, and the Trailblazers were up to the task. they'd have to kick a field goal. They blocked it. I did not notice that it was a poor snap. The handler had a hard time handling the snap. I didn't notice that in game. Remington Kelly, the block. Dixie State got it back. You saw a personal foul there. And then this is the play right here that sealed the deal. Cameron felt the pressure, just put the ball up, and Trayvon Watson was able to snag the ball. Dixie State would then run the clock out. After that, the Trailblazers win it 28-23. Grayson, let's put our heads together here, and let's name a player of the game tonight. I think I know who it is, and then we'll name a play of the game as well. I'm going to give you first crack at this. Player of the game for Dixie State tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a lot of different names to go around, Carrick, but I think the obvious one is AJ Luongo. Had the big breakout game, Carrick. We talked before we came on air. We were waiting for this. We were waiting for Luongo to have a big breakout game like he was capable of, and he delivered tonight. He was absolutely sensational, especially in the second half. We talked about it earlier in the game. How many times did we look up and another 3 yards, another 4 yards, another 5 yards for Luongo, able to just churn up a big chunk of yards on each carry. Carrick a lot of times was able to get yards after initial contact, keep the legs churning, keep the feet moving, getting extra push, getting extra yards. That kind of stuff really matters. Really comes down to, this game of inches, like they say, Carrick, and every yard counts. Luongo was able to maximize on every carry, every rush, and able to pick up 168 yards, his best game of the season so far.
Dixie State winning 28-23. CJ Luongo, your player of the game. I think we could split it. We go honorable mention tonight. I think it's Easton Smith, 13 of 25, 160 yards and a touchdown. And then he also rushed for a touchdown as well. He was able to rush for that touchdown in the second quarter to give Dixie State the 15-10 victory, or the 15-10 lead at the time. Of course, that was the touchdown. Then right after that, you had the block extra point. And Tevye Tolutau scooped it up and went in for 2 points for Dixie State. But C.J. Luongo, for me, is the player of the game. Easton Smith, a close second tonight. I think you're seeing a quarterback, a leader emerge in Easton Smith, one that's not able to, not afraid to hang in there and take some hits if he needs to. But he's smart, has not thrown a pick yet in his times this season. Of course, I probably just jinxed him here in week 3, but you got to get that first one out of the way sometime anyway, right? But they're your players of the game. Play of the game. I think we've got to hand one out, I think, and then a honorable mention too that kind of sealed the deal for me. It's the pass down to DeJuan Dantzler, the 33-yard pass, the reaching out, the fingertip catch. He's able to haul it in. That set up a score for Dixie State to go up 28-23, and that proved to be the game-winning touchdown. DeJuan Dantzler doesn't make that catch. Who knows what happens? We could be sitting at 23-22 still in favor of New Mexico Highlands. So for me, that's the play of the game, and then the honorable mention is the Trayvon Watson interception to seal the deal.
That was, that was a tremendous play. That was the biggest play of the game. But I want to remind you of one play that maybe got overlooked, and a lot of times this is easy to overlook because it's a special teams play, Carrick. Let's go back early fourth quarter. Less than 30 seconds have come off the clock. The Trailblazers are backed up near their own end line. They're near their own end zone. They're inside the 15-yard line, Carrick, and a punt that Josh Carlson was standing on the 2-yard line. Punts it all the way down to the 25-yard line on the other end of the field. That, for me, was a big turning point. It was just after the Trailblazers had taken the lead. It was just right at that point where they could have gone either way. If you block that punt, if you get a squibber that maybe goes to the 50, maybe not quite that far, that could have changed the game for me. Let's give credit where credit is due. A big-time play and a big-time punt from the freshman Josh Carlson to get that punt and trade field positions with the Cowboys.
Absolutely. That went in as 60-yard punt. Carlson averages 47 yards a kick tonight. You'll take that all night long. That's why they brought him here. They were excited about him. This kid could have gone and played D1 in place. He's from Arizona. Northern Arizona, I think, was after him, and Dixie State was able to get him come up here, and he's just a freshman. So think about how good he's going to be by the time he's a senior. He's got a booming foot, and that's exactly why he's here this season. That's your plays of the game and your player of the game as well. It just about wraps thing up. But let's take a look ahead quickly to next week. Dixie State will take on South Dakota Mines, the Hard Rockers, 2-1 overall. 1-1 in RMAC play as they defeat GNAC conference member, former Dixie State opponent, Simon Fraser from up in Canada, 52-28. They roll in that game. Not surprising. The Hard Rockers go for 486 yards total offense. But check this. They conceded 416 yards of total offense still in that loss. And then Simon Fraser just must have been moving the ball between the 20s, not really able to punch it in. It'll be a battle. South Dakota Mines and Dixie State have been battling each other the last few years, and that is the game on tap next week. Kickoff at 6. That will be the last home night game for the Trailblazers this season. Once you get into October, temperatures start getting a little cooler, and you'll start seeing noon kickoffs, or 1 p.m. kickoffs, here at home on October 13th and then November 3rd. So Dixie State wins it, improves to 2-1 overall, 2-1 in the RMAC, and we'll have South Dakota Mines right here in Trailblazer Stadium next week. Drayson, fun time here in the booth tonight. First time we had an opportunity to call a game together, and you're like a seasoned vet. I'm looking toward our more opportunities that we have, the couple of next games we have down the stretch.
Yeah, Carrick, it was, a great opportunity, but let's not forget, it was a tremendous game, Carrick. It was just a really great game from start to finish, a really clean game for the most part, a few weird little penalties here and there, but it was a great game, Carrick, and fortunately for the Trailblazers, able to come out on top 28-23.
There it is. That's your final, 28-23. I want to thank you for listening or watching, however you were joining us tonight. For Makini Manu, our third member on the crew, and for Drayson Ball, this is Carrick Segmiller. Thanking you for watching. Also thanking our CEC TV crew, all the cameramen and women, and the hard workers in the truck for bringing us this great production tonight. We thank Martin Kelly, our radio producer on the radio side. That's it for us, Martin. If you want to take a couple minutes and wrap things up on your end of the radio side, that's just fine. But that is it for us here in the broadcast booth at Trailblazer Stadium. Trailblazers win 28-23. South Dakota Mines here next week. Kickoff at 6 p.m. Pregame at 5:30. We'll catch you next week. Have a good night, everybody.